Yo, what up, what up, what up, and welcome everybody. Welcome, man. Listen, so I've been sitting here, right, and I was talking to gaming earlier on that new stream I've been doing. By the way, y'all, if y'all ain't checking that shit out, y'all need to check that shit out. It was a damn good stream. Legit, that hour just flew by. Legit. Um, I'm gonna tell you what, because we got on a note of standing here having a conversation with an individual, right? And trying to talk to somebody who disagreed with you as a whole, right? And that's a difficult thing to do, right? Just trying, like, because your purpose in life, because I was sitting here and I was listening to some philosophy tonight afterwards, and standing here trying to, like, actually, uh, you know, like, really stand here and, like, understand where somebody's coming from and change their mind, right? And portray a new thought to somebody else. It's a very difficult thing to do as a whole. And I think it oftentimes requires you to be able to understand where the other individual's coming from on the first point, right? Just from the jump, you have to be able to sit here and look at an individual and understand what they're saying and understand what they're thinking and understand the philosophy of where that comes from. Like, understand, like, the whole way back, like 20 years or 50 years, 1,000 years, as to where that whole thought pattern really started from. And being able to go, okay, well, I understand your point and I understand where you're coming from and I understand your purposes as a whole, right? But real shit, man, listen, I feel like my mic is, oh, that's what's going on. Hang on, man. I gotta change over my
Can
sound
I
settings.
add to that while
Hang
you're
on,
doing that?
hang on, man.
I'll actually say something to add to that. 'Cause
There we go. Go ahead. Go ahead, man.
what you're talking about there is what in specific schools of psychology is called empathy. And people argue over this, but I've been studying it over the last year. And in the schools of psychology I'm talking about, empathy is a very specific thing. Empathy is being able to see things through another person's eyes, see it the way they see it, think the way they think. This does not mean sympathy, because sympathy maybe is feeling sorry for them, wanting to help them. And in reality, you can have empathy while not feeling sorry for a person whatsoever. You can have empathy with a psycho who is on a murder spree, and you can have empathy with them in terms of being able to think, okay, well, if I were a psycho killer who wanted to eat black people or whatever, what would I do? That's also empathy. But in a more realistic human way, it's a hard skill to develop, because I've been trying to develop it and it's not easy for me to stop, get out of my head what I'm thinking, look at the other person and say, am I talking too fast for them? Am I talking past them? Am I trying to demand that they fundamentally change something that they think is true right now just to accommodate my new worldview? It is it's important to be, I've been very bad at it it is really hard to change somebody when you can't at least look at it from their point of view. And so I'm trying to support what you were saying while you were adjusting your mic. You can continue from
Well, yeah, no, I was actually adjusting the sound, right? Because
okay.
like I had it hooked up to my TV. I was watching a movie. Just got done watching
Whatever
Southpaw,
it was. And
right?
South Park. I haven't watched them
No,
in
Southpaw.
years.
Southpaw, the movie. It's a movie about a boxer, right? And he, like, loses his wife and goes through all this stuff, ends up on drugs and alcohol and fights through the system because they take his kid away and he has to go through the system to get his kid back. And I mean, go. It's basically like, I'll be honest with you, it's like if you combined Over the Top and Rocky 3, right? Like you're
Right, with a dad trying to get with his kid. I kind of like that angle. So many dads aren't able to get with their kids. Um,
yeah,
I
but
lost
it's,
one of
what I'm
mine
saying,
to
it's
the system.
like a
But
lot of it has to do with that empathy thought pattern that you have right there. It's him being able to get to the point of understanding something, right?
Yeah.
And you know, it's really hard sometimes to be understanding when an individual, you know, what's best for them is just to go shut up and deal with your fucking bullshit.
Well, sometimes it is okay. I would make this general observation that when you're frustrated with another person, or when you resent another person, or angry with a person, it is usually because they won't change. You want them to change, and they will not. And the problem with that is that's basically your problem. I know it's hard, but it's like the resentment or the anger, you're choosing to hold on to that. It may be hard to let go, but it's like sometimes you just gotta, okay, that person is that person.
Well,
They've
it's
made
well,
that call,
it's not
and it's
so
hard,
much.
huh?
Well, but it's not. No, so see, like I have a situation at the moment I'm going through where I'm looking at an individual and I'm going, look, man, you know, like if you want to be better in life, if you want to like have your goals achieved, right, and you want to do what you want to do and be a man, and you know, what I mean, be and have your freedom that you want, you're going to have to man up and stop blaming everybody else for your bullshit.
Well, there's the thing, right? Because it's so easy in life to blame, and I can make a lot of, excuses in the world, and some are legitimate. Some things were definitely things in my life I could not help. But even when you take those blows in life that you couldn't help, and they do come, you still at some level have to come to the conscious awareness of, all right, but I still chose my emotional and physical reactions to that, and I can change that. I can't you you know Part of letting go of resenting someone is realizing you really can change your own thought patterns. You can decide, you know what, that person has just decided to be wrong. They're stubborn, they don't like me, they can't admit it, or why do I care what they think, or whatever it is, because yeah, they're not going to change. People don't change unless they want to.
Well,
And
but but this is the thing, right? Like, you know, if you want something, right? You know what I'm saying? Like whatever that thing is, like you want to take an opportunity and you want something in life, right? And you know that like that's exactly what your heart wants. You want this. Your best option in life is to stand here and deal with your bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like legit. Your best option is to get over all the shit that's ever happened to you in life and, you know what I mean, be successful. That's the only way you're going to be able to achieve that. You can't let what everybody else ever did to you affect you forever.
yeah, I have sympathy for it though, because sometimes, let's just put it to you this way. You really should, it's better if you don't let things that happen to you affect you in a negative way, but it's real easy to fall into that thought pattern, and we all do it. And sometimes we think we've found the best way to deal with our own bullshit, and we haven't. So it is good to go out there and get that third party perspective, somebody spiritual, somebody with wisdom, because you can change those bad thought patterns of your own. Like, I've been learning various ways to literally just, with time and effort, like, there's somebody close to me who's just dead wrong about something, and they're so wrong that it affects, my child's life potentially, and I can't change a thing about it. And you know what, at some level it's just got to be, I can't hold on to it. God's in charge. I'm not in control of this one. I have to let go. I don't think
I
I'm right. I
understand.
know I'm right, but being right isn't the point. I think
Well,
I know what is true, but I have to let go, and
yeah,
that lets me
but
let
it's
go.
deeper than that though, right? It's deeper than
Okay.
that. It's more along the lines of like, all right, at some point in your life, right, you have
Right.
to accept the fact that life is gonna suck sometimes, right?
Yep.
And life's gonna shit on you.
Yep.
And the only way to get through that is to put your one foot in front of the other and keep walking, right? You have to keep moving forward. Like
Oh,
if
that
you
is true.
don't keep going, if you don't fucking be like stand here and go, all right, well, this isn't gonna hold me back. You know what I mean? You're gonna end up in a position where, you know what I'm saying? Like every time something bad happens, you're gonna fall backwards into a whole bunch of shit. Like right
I
now,
can
like
tell you
in two
that.
days, in 2 days, I go to the doctors for this diabetes thing, right? And I'm gonna be back to being able to go to work. Right. And the reason is because, like, when I found out that this shit that legitimately I inherited, and, you know, I mean, I got because of the fact that I was on the road and not taking care of myself the way I should have, you know what I mean? And, like, because I had to make money for my family in any way that I saw fit, like I decided to make fucking changes and go the hard road of cutting out carbs and cutting out sugars and working out twice a day. And, you know, I mean, going for a mile walk or jog every fucking day, or, you know, I mean, like, and actually I go for an hour. I really don't know how far it is. I didn't measure it, you know what I mean? But I go out for an hour every fucking morning and I go for a walk or I go for a jog and I go downstairs every fucking night and I beat the shit out of my fucking heavy bag for an hour, you know what I mean? And I stand here and I do fucking 50 reps with my motherfucking weights and shit. You know what I mean? And I decided to make the positive change in my life to stand here and do what I had to do because I have fucking things in my life that are more important than me. You know what I mean? That are more
And
important than me wanting to just sit on my ass and remain, you know what I mean, indolent. You know what I mean?
and I think that there's where it comes is that key decision you make in your life. And there have been periods when I have gone down to where I can't move anymore. You know, and I was ready to. I had completely collapsed and I needed help. But even in that need for help, I was always like, I need to somehow put one foot in front of the other, and I need to somehow find a way forward. And, you know, I've crawled out of a very deep hole over the last 10 plus years, last 15 years. In many ways, my life and my even my physical health are much better than when I was 35 or when I was 40. And I'm in my 50s now. And that hasn't been an overnight. It's been from what you just said, from making the decision. I didn't even make the decision I want to live. You know what? Because, Tom, I don't particularly want to live. To be honest, I lost my fear of death a long time ago. I was an atheist when I lost my fear of death. Death was not my fear. My fear was feeling miserable and letting down the people in my life who mattered. Um, and and so instead of just feeling sorry for myself, even if I did things wrong, even if I, whatever, I fucked up, it was always, there's people counting on me. I need to do something about that. And there is that mentality versus, oh, woe is me. And that's just two ways you could, those are the two ways people go. And if you choose, oh, woe is me, I mean, that doesn't mean you can never feel sorry for yourself or even have a good cry with your buddies. Don't cry in front of your women, boys. They never like that. But well, in front of your buddies,
Very
whatever. And we all need a little of that shit. But you have to be making the choice. All right, but now I got to get up and I got to do what I got to do.
I mean, and that's kind of the point, right? And that's why, like, you know, like I have all these kids, but on the same point, it's, you know, I mean, it's that I like having that fucking anchor around me. You know what I mean? I like having that harness on me to like go, hey, look, you need to fucking get off your ass. They gotta eat. You know what I mean? They didn't ask to fucking be here. And you know what I mean, that's always been a driving force in my life. Like no matter what happens, it's always nigga, you got a goddamn responsibility. You get up and you fucking do what you gotta do. Hey, what up, psycho? And I mean, nigga, I legit, I figured it would have been done a long time ago. And Netflix, Cast, Fun, Under the Car with Kids, Enclave Hard. And I'll be honest, man, got a lot of cats out right now, but it's AP streaming right now. So, you know, what I mean, you know, suck up most of them all fucking shine. But I just kind of wanted to come out and have a conversation, you know, because I got some shit weighing on my mind. On the same point, like I have some other shit that I was thinking about. It's more of a deeper thought pattern. I think that you'll probably help me out a little bit with this, right? And I mean, it's a global macro type of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm looking at, like I've stood here and I've looked at all these things, right? You know, Marxism, socialism, communism, capitalism, right? And you know, what I mean, like sat here and like looked at all of them. And I'll be honest with you, I find flaws in everything, right? Like I don't think any of this shit works as a whole, right?
Right.
Like I think that capitalism as a whole, and like this is kind of where I got down to in the mentality of like where I have conversations with individuals who are like devout capitalists, and I go, I don't think capitalism can work without exponential growth of the population. And
Right.
I like the idea of exponential growth of the population because they're going to end up like sticking us all in smart cities, right?
Well, hmm, well, that's the plan now. That's what the Build Back Better agenda is. But um, I don't even want to get into an argument because I think capitalism does
I don't
not
want to,
work. No,
yeah,
no, no.
I don't
I
want to
don't want to get
argue.
into a different
I want to
discussion.
discuss.
Yeah, I
I
want to
want to
stay on
discuss.
the bigger. I didn't want. I almost derailed myself. Let's talk about the bigger issue. There's another reason capitalism does not work, and I genuinely believe a whole lot of us out here got swindled into accepting the idea of capitalism because, well, it's better than communism. But in reality, when you start looking at what happens, is that major capitalists wind up funding communists. And so, and it's really true. The communists in the United States now are all being funded by our wealthy capitalist institutions. Every single successful Marxist organization is being funded by wealthy capitalists. All of them. Think about that. So, what is capitalism really? See, if you're like what they used to call a nationalist or an American firster or whatever, you wanted an economic policy that benefited the middle class and that encouraged free enterprise and entrepreneurship so people could build their own bakeries and their own pizza shops and their own computer repair shops and their own garages to do mechanic work and all that shit, and you would want small business to prosper. But under capitalism, um, capital is the people who have money and loan it out, and the goal of people who have money and loan it out, mathematically, when it works that way, especially when you allow the charging of interest, it's literally the laws of mathematics. A smaller and smaller number of people at the top will get wealthier and wealthier. And then within that structure, these people, they have no moral incentives except to make more money. In fact, libertarians love saying this. Yes, the profit incentive is good, greed is good. Well, no, because what that means is they have every incentive to snap up and destroy small family enterprises and bring them into franchises or just completely obliterate them. Obliterate family farms that way, obliterate family restaurants that way, obliterate butcher shops, barber shops, bakers. Take them all up. The big corporations will absorb them all. Something has to put a brake on that, or essentially, literally, it's not a joke. It sounds like a joke, but what was that movie, Demolition Man, with Sylvester Stallone, where he's in the
Yeah.
future, and pretty soon, oh, in that movie, pretty soon Taco Bell Corporation just owned everything. In Idiocracy, it was the Rondo Corporation. But like literally, just do the math. That's actually what has to happen under capitalism with the greed is good mentality, because it's like a law of power. Capital equal power. Your ability to dole out loans and invest so you get a return, especially if you get a guaranteed rate of return, a smaller elite will always get more powerful at the top. And that's inherently dangerous. I have to admit it's dangerous to them too, because eventually enough people will just want to destroy them. But
Well,
these,
psycho, what you have to understand is through the periods of capitalism, right, with like the rise and falls of empires, or the rise and falls of companies, the rise and falls of countries, right? You know, through the times, there has always been periods when it has come down to the point where if you wanted to do business with somebody in some field, multiple times it's been one business that you did business with, right? And it wasn't because like that business just made the rules for the government. It's because that business ended up owning the entire fucking process of something, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this has happened multiple times, right? You know what I mean? You talk about, you know what I mean, the Dutch East India Company, you know what I mean? You talk about you know what I mean, fucking Carnegie Steel, you talk about, you know what I mean, JP Morgan, you talk about General Electric, you talk about
Right.
fucking, you know what I mean, like you talking about Bell fucking Telephone Company, right?
This has
And these are
been
all companies that legitimately had to be broken up, right? And as they did, you know what I mean, Standard Oil and like fucking, hang on, we can go back even further than that.
well.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Let me point out. Yeah. Let me point out
Yeah,
that in history there used to be something, and this was on the Republican side, by the way, with Theodore Roosevelt. Theodore Roosevelt, whose administration also resembled Trump's in a lot of ways. He more resembles Andrew Jackson, but Teddy Roosevelt was a lot like Trump, and he ran as a trust buster, and the trust buster was to break up monopolies and, more important, trusts, which was big business colluding with other big business, having secret trust relationships. Hey, you do this as the oil companies, and we'll do this as the auto companies, and we'll squeeze out and control the markets this way. And market capture and control is a real thing. And libertarians, they like to complain, well, the regulatory agencies get corrupted and captured. Well, yeah, but
you do.
but 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 that's where you need to reform the regulatory agencies, because you can't get rid of the regulatory agencies, or you're just telling these people, yeah, go ahead and do exactly what Bezos and Soros and all these other billionaires are doing to us now.
What's
They
up, bud?
think they think they're more powerful than governments now. And all these people are saying, oh, well, government's the problem. Well, right now, Angela Merkel is scared, and other European leaders are scared and calling out and telling big tech they should not be censoring Donald Trump, because big tech, if they can silence the president of the United States, can silence anybody. That's fucking scary. And that is capitalists flexing their muscles, if you believe the capitalist paradigm. Capitalists are now more powerful than governments. If you believe in capitalists, Silicon Valley has the power to shut down the United States, president of the United States. Think about that. It's not, it's insane. It's completely insane.
I would tend to fucking completely agree with you, right? And you know,
It
my
doesn't matter
problem.
whether you like the president. Maybe you think he's Hitler. Silicon Valley shouldn't be able to call this one and
Yeah,
just
they
shut
like,
it
and
up.
see, this is the thing, right? And this is the massive problem that everybody has, right, at the moment. And this is the problem that like I have at the moment. And there's a lot of moving parts to this, right? Legit. And one of the big moving parts that I see is that capitalists right now require cheap labor, right?
Yeah.
Because of how the system's set up. Like the system is literally set up to require cheap labor. Like it has to have it, right? Because
Yeah.
if they don't have cheap labor, then the cost of goods go up with inflation. Because like since you have cheap labor, you're basically beating the inflation rate by
Right.
keeping the fucking labor rates low. Because labor is always the largest part of fucking any type of capitalistic venture, right? So they beat that by standing here and having massive fucking ships that can, you know, what I mean, sail across the ocean and deliver to California out of fucking Asia or, you know, what I mean, or India or whatever the case might be. And what they do is they stand here and they take all these fucking goods and they sell them in America, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
And that's kind of my mentality right now as I'm standing here going, all right, well, you know, if the case of capitalism doesn't serve the motherfucking country, like what is the purpose of capitalism then? Right?
right.
I mean, because like really, I mean, yes, they're serving the state because it's allowing the state to have the social structure that it has, you know what I mean, as far as social safety nets. Because like without having cheaper goods, they wouldn't be able to print money to be able to continue to keep the fucking prices low, right? So they could, you know what I mean, like fucking continue to fund the social structures, you know what I
To,
mean,
to
as
me,
a whole to keep people satisfied.
to me, this is much easier to see from what I think is the bird's eye perch of Klaus Schwab and the people who support him. And I don't know what the reluctance is of anybody to just look at that, because what these people are planning is open and who's supporting them is open. Klaus Schwab is supported by at least 400 of the biggest corporations in the world. They're supported by the six largest world accounting firms. They're supported by most of the world governments. They're supported by most of the world banks. I'm sorry, but if you think the World Economic Forum and what they say they're doing is not true, you're out of your mind. So I'm telling you what they're thinking. One of the things they are clearly telling us is that the U.S. middle class is not sustainable. It needs to go. So the U.S. middle class, along with the U.S. middle class, is being intentionally
Well,
being
that's okay.
driven
So,
to
so hang on.
poverty.
Let me. All right. So
And
wait, wait,
and
wait. Let
let
me,
me finish.
wait.
I'm
Let me touch on, another piece of this subject that I was thinking about
going
inside
to
of
go
my
right
head.
back to your part, but okay.
All right. I feel you. Like, yeah, I got you. Like, eventually, right? What it's going to do is it's going to fucking drive down the prices of fucking labor to the point
Yes,
where, like, literally you're not earning shit and you're
yes,
basically a fucking slave for the company, right?
yes,
Because that's the end result of capitalism.
yes. And
Like,
they'll
that's the
even
end
try to
game.
say it's a good thing. They speak of it like it's a good thing. But yes, that's right. And they've even said it. This is not a conspiracy theory. They're open. They said it's the year 2030. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. And they have descriptions of what they think your life will be like. And when you get down into it, they've determined how many children you'll be able to have, how many people you'll be able to live with, and you will be working for a corporation and you will rent everything. Everything will be rented or consumed. Period.
Well,
They want you in smart cities. Huh?
psycho. Here's all right. So, psycho. Here's the problem that I'm having with, like, your mentality. All right, because, like, I respect the shit out of, like, the entire economic theory that you're coming from. And by the way, what up, Alex Martin? What up, Bloodletter? What up, fucking gaming, my nigga? And 3-4 Shoda, right? So, like, here's the thought pattern that
What's
is
he
a
trying to
problem.
say?
He's trying to say it's just crony capitalism, but it's
Oh my
not.
God.
Hang on. The problem isn't just capitalism, right? All right. So capitalism today, all right, as it sits, has two problems, right? You know, what I mean, one is it has this problem of um, where, how do I put this, man? It has a problem of where they continually print money into oblivion, right? And in printing money into oblivion, like, and printing your dollar into fucking nothingness, right? It's going to end up having the result of where they can no longer pay you to work for what you're worth, right? It's gonna, like, even if you're earning $50 an hour at some point, it's gonna be like earning five, is kind of the end result of that. And so they're just going to keep taking from you until you get to the point. And if you're not even if it's not worth five, right?
Please. Here's what I would tell all these guys who keep defending capitalism. I know it's hard. I'm trying to make you change axiomatically something you think. And it's harder to it's an old thing, it's an old adage, it's true. It's easier to fool people than to convince them they've been fooled. We got fooled. We got fooled into the notion that capitalism is free enterprise. Capitalism is not free enterprise. Capitalist is predatory towards free enterprise and doesn't like free enterprise. Capitalism talks about free trade but only believes in free trade between capitalists, and capitalists see themselves as a class of people and you aren't one of them. You
Bullshit.
never
Like, yo,
will
bullshit.
be.
Like, yo, capitalists will fucking do free trade. Like, yo, they'll do free trade as long as, like, fucking it works out for them.
You want free enterprise. You want a man to be able to build up his own business, and whatever it is a farmer or a mechanic
No,
or
like I said,
that's
I don't like communism or socialism or any of
right.
the anything, any
It's a
any of the other ones
false
as well. Like yo,
that's a false dichotomy, because what
yeah,
we all want, what you want, Tom Pinoid, and what he wants is free enterprise, which is individuals can own property, individuals own their own businesses, individuals work for themselves or within their own family structures or within voluntary units they make up. That is not what capitalism is. I'm sorry, no matter how much you scream that it's capitalism, it's not capitalism. Okay, you want free enterprise, you don't want capitalism. Capitalism is intentionally not that. It hurts that. Um, and it's a trick of language. Okay, you're not a capitalist just because you're trying to earn money and build up a small business or whatever. That doesn't make you a capitalist. You don't get to be a capitalist
yeah.
until you are lending money
Individual,
to people.
yes.
And
Alex Martin. No, they won't, and that's the problem, right? They won't pay for the best fucking work, and
and
that's
let me
the issue,
Yeah,
right?
they really won't. And let me point something out to
Okay,
you.
hang on, wait. Let me put this like this,
Go
right?
ahead.
So, like, okay, all right. So the reason why people won't pay for the best work, and this has been shown a many a times. For instance, Walmart is full of cheap Chinese shit that breaks every 10 minutes, right?
Made by
It's
slaves.
so
Yeah.
cheap. It's so cheap you can just go buy another one because it's built by somebody who doesn't wear shoes in some fucking factory with
Yeah.
suicide nets outside, right? Where they sleep 15 to a fucking room, right? So
Right.
this is the problem that you have, right? And that's kind of on that level, right? And so
There are
uh,
fixes for this, but yes.
yeah, like unless it's a major item like a car or like a tractor or like a house, you don't fix it, right? You just throw it away and get another one. Like for instance, it
Yep.
used to be, you remember back in the day, like when you hit a rock with your lawnmower and you bent the shaft, right?
And you would
And
fix.
yeah, and then you went and fixed it, right? Like you fucking went and you pulled the fucking motor apart, and you know what I mean? You fucking, pulled the
Yes.
pistons off and all that shit, fucking put a new shaft in, whatever, right? You put a whole new drive shaft in, fucking ready to run again. Now, like, yo,
You
my
go get
buddy, he wanted to literally start a lawnmower shop. I'd love to start a lawnmower shop. It would be awesome, right? That's kind of the deal, right? I would love to stand here and start a lawnmower shop, but you know what? You won't make any money, right? Like, oh, you just throw away your lawnmower now. You put it out for the trash if it doesn't work and go buy another fucking $150 one or $125 one from fucking Home Depot or whatever.
And that
And
has been the system that capitalists designed on purpose. And I would just point out to anybody who says the words crony capitalism, please stop saying those words. One, if you had no government at all, capitalists would be cronies with each other. And so that's number one. Capitalism is cronyism. Period.
like,
You both get
that's
together.
what it
That's
built.
number
That's what it
one.
built into. Like, yo,
That's number one.
you
But
remember the rules they used to have, like, they made all these rules up, like Glass Steagall and all these
yes,
type of things, right? And the trust busters and anti-monopoly rules and antitrust rules and all these things that they
right,
used to have, right? And
right.
I'm saying they've stood here
Because
and they did these things because of the fact that, like, yo, they let fucking capitalism run amok and they ended up just becoming monopolies and putting
conservatives,
yeah.
yes, conservatives used to be the ones who knew this was a problem and said you have to put limits on it, because any smart businessman will say, "Oh, I see an opportunity to acquire more property and make more money." He will just do that. And if two businessmen can collude to take a third one out, they'll do it, because that's
Yeah.
how business works.
Now,
And
now,
and
now, see,
and
here's what we did though. What we did though is we did constrain trade, right? We did
yes.
this,
Well,
right? And
okay.
it was important that we did this because of the fact that, like, you constrain capital to, I mean, the country. We made it very, very hard for you to get your fucking money back into the country and out of this country, right?
Well,
That's what we did
more of
up
that.
until the 1970s, right?
Yep.
Because all right, because of the fact that we were on a fixed currency, right? We were on, it was still a currency, but it was a fixed currency. It had how do I put this? It had it had a gold backing to it, right? It was at
Yes.
$35 an ounce or whatever the case might have been at that point, right?
Right.
And so, I mean, with that, everybody had a standard building block with that $35 an ounce gold, gold, currency unit, right? And so, I mean, you didn't have the problem of inflation to where, like, if you just printed money off to pay for things and have a free floating currency, then you had, then you end up, having individuals earn so much fucking money that it caused companies to go out of business. Right. And that's what happened back in the 1970s when we originally went off the gold standard. Right. When Bretton Woods ended. I mean, not like the gold standard where like me or you could go trade our dollars in, where like countries could go trade their fucking dollars in. Right. So
Right.
when this happens, we let fucking capitalists stand here and fucking trade, in China or overseas, whatever the case might be, and started the massive export of our jobs. And that's what happened. And that's how we got to where we are today, to where we no longer have, and most of our, fucking goods built in a fucking America. We have them assembled in other places, for instance, like Mexico, which is fine. Because Mexican trade with us actually does us rather well, right? Like the more stuff we import from Mexico, the less Mexicans come here. The better that country gets, the better our country gets, because we go back and forth, as far as trade's really concerned.
But can we
But
go back?
but
Yeah.
hang on, the problem is that when you have like slaves building them in, what I'm saying, motherfucking like Ethiopia or wherever the case might be, it's a whole different ball game, because literally you're not helping Americans, you're
China.
helping them.
China is the world's biggest slave state, period. And wealthy capitalists love doing business in China. It's disgusting, and I'm tired of libertarians and conservatives not calling out the fact that wealthy capitalists use slave labor all over the world. This means if you're pro-capitalist, you're pro-slavery. And by the way, if you're pro-slavery, you're pro-capitalist, don't be surprised if you or your children wind up being slaves within the next 10 years, because the wealthy capitalist class intends to enslave your children. That's what they intend to do. They say they intend to do it, so maybe you better pay attention. And when you hear the words crony capitalism, that's a stupid lie the enemy told you. That's made to make you think, oh, it means when capitalists collude with government, it's bad. But A, capitalists are now more powerful than governments, in case you hadn't noticed. So it's not the cronyism that matters. B, capitalism is cronyism, and capitalists have been doing business with the communists since communism began. In fact, this is the last thing I'll say about crony capitalism. Crony capitalism has funded every communist revolution in history. Wealthy capitalists, without exception, have funded every communist revolution, and wealthy capitalists are funding the communist revolution now. All of it's being funded by wealthy communists. What is wrong with you stupid motherfuckers who keep defending capitalism when it's capitalists who are literally paying for all of the communism? They're doing it on purpose. They're planning it. And by the way, I'm going to say it one more time. They literally are planning to destroy the middle class and make our children not able to own property. The capitalist class is doing that. I can't stand it anymore when people defend capitalists because they say they just don't like communism.
Wait. Let me
All
throw out an
communists are
olive branch
paid for by capitalists.
You're
All
not
communism
wrong.
is paid for by
Yo, look.
capitalists, period. So
Wait.
I'm going to stop
Wait,
ranting because I'm going to take a break and get some marijuana. I'll be back.
Do you think? Right. All right. So all right, here's the deal. Like, I am pro making money. I'm pro the American citizen making money. Right. Like, understand that. Don't get anything misunderstood. Like, I am fully behind the idea that like you should own property and own your business and own your home and have a family and thing and the whole deal. Right. But my problem is legitimately, like, I just put the fucking link out, nigga. Why are you not in the goddamn Discord? Hang on, wait. Paste. Here. All right, there. Link is in the motherfucking chat for anybody who wants to join and argue with me. Right. Argue about this. Right. Because Psycho's in here going hard in the chat. You know what I mean? Like, nigga, I fucking put the link in twice now. You know what I mean? You want to join. You know, we can have this conversation. Right. The Soviet Union was actually started by a bunch of wealthy capitalists from America. I'm gonna go with yes. like America pretty much funded the vast majority. Hang on a minute. Let me get you in here, Stone Mexican guy. What up, man? But hang on a second. The Soviet Union, yes, the vast majority of their military expenditures, fucking that, like, I mean, they had them make their come up back in the 1940s and shit during World War II. Yes, was funded by America and was funded, you know what I'm saying, like by fucking capitalism in America. But go ahead, SMG. What up?
I just want to say, like, the idea of property ownership in the United States is a fucking joke. You don't really own property. Like,
You're not
you
wrong.
pay a 30-year mortgage, and then what? You pay taxes on the property you supposedly paid for. That'd be like I bought a pair of shoes, but I still have to pay an yearly tax on the pair of shoes I bought for each fucking shoe. You know, it's stupid.
Yeah, it is fucking stupid.
I
I
completely
mean,
agree with
I'm becoming more and more convinced by Julius Evola on capitalism. It's like, at this point, capitalism and communism is pretty much the same thing because they're both pretty much run by the same tribe of people.
The thing is that, like, this is one of those situations where the communists in the United States aren't really communists; they're just fucking people that want power. And the idea of communism in theory isn't bad. It's just not really well implemented. Same thing with the gay-ass faux capitalism we have in the United States. It's not free market. There's nothing fair about anything that happens here.
Nope, it's just basically cut as many niggas' throats as possible and take all the.
Well, it's not even that. Like, a lot of these fucking big companies, how many of them got big off government subsidies?
Well, how about this one? Like, yo,
a lot of them have government contracts.
Hang on a minute. Hang on a second. Yo, how about this one? Like, yo, welfare and food stamps are literally part of Walmart's pay structure.
Yes, yeah, no, that's true. Well, my wife used to work at Walmart as a part-time. She had a part-time job there, working in the bakery, and she would tell me that, like, they literally tell the employees, like, how to get welfare. It's all like a big shell game. Like, they pay their employees enough so that they can still get welfare. And then, you know, they go spend their EBT at Walmart, so it's like they're just getting everything back.
Yeah, and I mean, this is kind of where I'm at. Like, legit. Like, I'm gonna go with this. Like, I'm gonna say this again and again and again. Like, yo, legit. The end result of fucking capitalism is going to be slavery.
Well, I mean, if I could afford a person and I could legally own it, I'd buy a person in a heartbeat. I'd own a little Cambodian kid.
But here's the thing about slavery, man. Like, you don't have to really own that person to make them work for free.
Oh yeah, that's indentured servitude.
Yeah.
I mean, look, in reality, dude, the United States has been in decline since the 90s, ever since NAFTA. It's been a slow decline, and they've been really slick about it up to now. Now they've just gone full mask off, and they don't really give a fuck if you know that they're fucking you. Because at the end of the day, Americans are pussies, and they're not going to do anything about it. They're just going to sit there and take it with the fucking hot dog in their hand while they watch their Netflix shows and not complain. As long as they got food in their stomach and the TV comes on, they will keep getting fucked and fucked and fucked. And there's nothing anybody will fucking do about it. Nothing.
Yeah, sad but true, man. We gotta find a way to adapt and basically, you know, I don't know.
And the bullshit too is this fucking everybody's still holding on to the stupid belief that the system, if we work within the system, no, you fucking idiots, the system's been co-opted a long time ago. There's no way for anybody.
I agree with you that, man. I say we have to basically just cheat the system, just work outside the system, be completely autonomous.
No, everybody needs to grab their fucking guns and just kill their elected officials. That's it.
Yo, shh. No.
Yo, no planning felonies on the stream,
not
dude.
Here, nigga. Not here. Not here.
Oh,
not here. No.
Yeah, my bad.
Planning felonies on the stream, dude. I know.
Well, okay, I suggest they do it in Fortnite.
Minecraft. Do it in Minecraft. Yeah, dude. Plan classy felonies, dude.
Listen, but either way, though, either way, like, either way, you know, the whole thing about the United States is pretty much boned, dude. It's been boned, and China's going to take over the world as the most powerful nation because how much debt does China have?
Shit ton.
Debt? Really? No, how much debt? That's debt that they owe. How much do they owe?
A literal fuck ton.
Yeah. Fuck ton of debt.
Oh, okay, then I thought China was debt-free.
Nope.
Oh no. China's running like Enron. They're just running throughput at this point, so they're just pumping money through systems in order to
Oh,
fucking
see.
continue the fucking
Well, then
to
China's
continue
not going to
employment.
be. Well, then China's gonna like kind of
Yeah.
emulate in a while too. But the
Well,
United States'
China's
glory
fucked.
days are done.
China's fucked,
Yo,
dude.
legit. Yo,
China's been
SMG.
fucked.
And yo, Neffel, shut up a second. SMG, I have two really good videos back. Go look for my Peter Zihan videos. He'll explain all about how China's all about throughput and how, like, legitimately they are fully relying upon us for almost all of their fucking food and all the security guarantees for their fucking chemicals coming into their country, whether it be oil, plastic, or fucking, fertilizer.
Then never mind. They're gonna be fine then, because fucking the Biden administration is gonna, give them everything they want. They're fine.
Yo,
I don't see anything wrong happening in China.
Psycho's putting up really good ideas. Like, legit, I agree with you. Get rid of property tax, and I also agree with you that we need a competency test at the motherfucking polls. Like, I've been said this many a goddamn time.
Well, I said the competency test, like, just to be allowed to have children, you should be able to have like pass a certain test to have children. If not, you get chemically castrated at the age of 19. If you don't have a certain wisdom value by the age of 19, you shouldn't be allowed to reproduce.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel where you are. You know what I mean?
Man,
like,
I'm
yo,
just
some
telling
Mexican
you.
guy is working right now, and I will tolerate his
as
noise because, like, yo, he's
Oh,
grinding to make.
yeah, I'm driving, dude. I'm driving. Yeah, I just needed to pop in for a bit because I'm bored and I'm driving, and I didn't. Yeah, my microphone sucks. You can pick everything up.
I know how it is, dude. You ever need somebody to bullshit with? I'm usually up to like 3 a.m. in the fucking morning. Holler at me.
Well, 3 a.m. for you is what, like midnight for me?
Yeah.
I don't know how time works. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, alrighty. But yeah, take it easy, dudes. Fucking, I apologize for the squeaky truck
You're cool.
noises.
You're good, man.
I'd honk my horn for you guys, but there's a highway patrol like right next to me, so I got to roll. Later.
Later, man. Yo, he said most of York is out of the fucking voter pool. Yo, legit. If they make a competency test, legitimately, most of the burg is out of the goddamn fucking voter pool, too. Get nothing misunderstood. Yo, fucking Dip, nigga, what up?
What's Gucci?
Well, and by the way, Nomadic Toe, welcome to the channel, man. Fucking make sure you hit that goddamn sub button. Have a wrench. Enjoy yourself, because you know what? I don't like to have anybody silenced on my channel ever. Even if they argue with me or to disagree, I believe it is important that we have those conversations back and forth. You know what I'm saying?
Tom, you said you don't know how time works, so I can make it simple. This is how I explained it to my
Nigga,
mom.
I don't want to know about your time. I only know about my time where people live. All right? That's where I'm at. Yo, what up, Joshua Demis? But Dip, I know how it is, man. It's like fucking -3 hours. I'm pretty sure. So, like,
yeah.
fucking.
I was gonna say, just watch if you watch a Lakers, Blazers, or Warriors game.
Yeah, I don't watch the NBA. I watch the NFL, and that's pretty much about it. That's most of the sports I ever watch is the NFL. You know what I mean? We were having a conversation about that in my fucking Discord earlier, but anyway, right? We were talking about I was having thoughts about, you know what I'm saying, accelerationism and the mentality of what do we do? Okay, Africa is breeding exponentially because we continue to assist them constantly, right?
Yeah.
And what do we do with all those fucking Africans? Right? Like, yo, if we stop helping, then they all starve. But if we continue to help, they keep breeding and they all starve.
Which part of the continent is breeding the most? I'm curious.
I think the West.
Nigeria.
I thought it was going to be Nigeria. Nigeria has a plethora of problems that a lot of these nations are going to start having to address. You talk about urbanization. It's like, it's not so much that there isn't land for people, it's where they're located. And a lot of them are located in the cities. So you know what that creates a problem as. It's like the opposite problem that you talk about for urbanization across the world.
Right. I mean, so
they're probably going to deal with what China, Japan, and a lot of these other nations are grappling with right now.
Yeah.
And I would want to know, are they breeding enough males? Because I know that some places have too many females or not enough females. Like there's a population imbalance a
Yo,
lot.
I'll talk.
The long
Yo,
term
I'll
plan.
talk. The absent superpower is probably my favorite book for him, right? But like all three are well worth a read. Like legit, you will learn something from all of them legitimately. And the third one is pretty key to understand like what the world's going through right now with the breakdown and shit. You know what I mean?
I would simply recommend COVID-19, The Great Reset, because that lays out what the economic elite who have the power literally are planning to do. So it's pretty easy to see what they are planning to do, and from there, see how successful they are. They look pretty successful so far. And they don't care about the surplus males, they want them to die. They want population reduction, substantial population reduction globally by 2050, and they want to have a substantial start on it by 2030. They're fine with young males dying off. War is a good way of accomplishing that. Expect a lot more war. And if there's starvation or people dying from side effects from so-called pandemics, and measures to fight them, they're fine with all of it. They're fine with the middle class being destroyed. They desire that. And they're fine with lots and lots and lots of people dying. They desire that too.
I see
And
cognitive
no one's gonna do a
dissonance.
goddamn thing about it.
I see cognitive dissonance in that.
We had here's the thing, right? This is what also pisses me off. On a lot of issues, still SMG has a lot of points. We have all the numbers and all the fucking guns and every opportunity to prevent this from happening, but nobody wants to fucking do it because they would rather sit on their asses, eat Cheetos, and watch TV, and even jack off to porn. We've had every fucking chance to fight for our freedoms, but they would rather give that up for fucking safety. So you know what? I have no sympathy for fucking couch potatoes. If they want to basically live their lives like fucking compliant rats, that is their fucking life. But don't ever think that, oh, we should be blaming them. Yeah, we got to hold them to accountable. We also got to take our responsibility in handling our fucking business to actually give life worth a fucking damn.
Well, people demonize violence, so there's that.
Well-
But two things, Max, though, that you said, which I see cognitive dissonance. On the one hand, you're correct that they do want depopulation, but on the other hand, they want infinite growth, exponential growth, and you can't have it both ways. So it's like
They believe they could achieve it.
No,
They believe most of humanity is surplus. Most of us can be replaced by automation and should be. And
but then that's not
ideal-
what I'm saying, Max. That's not what I'm saying. You have to understand what I mean by exponential growth. They want exponential growth in consumption. They want exponential growth and the usage of products. And you can't have that with population. There's always a pro and con to everything. So how can you have both? If you're going to have depopulation, that doesn't mean exponential consumption. You see what I mean?
They want to reduce consumption as much as possible.
No, they don't.
No, in order for the machine to work, you need exponential and
Yes.
infinite consumption.
Yes.
No.
Yes, you
Yes,
do, man.
you
That's
do.
what we're.
It's
Okay.
it's
That's
basically
literally what the
mathematics.
system is right now.
Okay, well, then their plan will fail. I suggest you go and watch it, because the plan is to get the whole world population down to 500 million by the end of this century.
I've been hearing that since like 95, bro.
Good for you, bro. And if you haven't noticed, they're getting better and better at succeeding at that.
No, they're sucking at it.
They're
They've
sucking
literally
at it.
done
They're
the exact opposite.
Watch, because it's
How can-
happening now. Well, first they engineered the AIDS pandemic in Africa to murder millions and millions of people there. They've brought it out now. It's called COVID-19, and it is the pretext they're going to use to euthanize quite a few people.
But Max,
And
the problem is, I understand what you're saying. The problem is numbers don't lie. We are getting closer to 8 billion people. So their plan is sorry if that's the case.
Okay,
Unless they want to crash, unless they want to create like a fucking crash and benefit from a fucking crisis and make off with a bunch of insurance claims.
But it still won't matter because you can't eliminate that many amount of people like that.
Yo,
Not
no,
possible.
that
I'm
you'll
sorry,
never
I'm sorry,
have the
but
insurance
you
policy
simply
pay
have
off.
not. Okay,
Jerome, hang on, my brother, Max. I mean, I apologize. Right, here's the problem, my brother. Oh, fucking Brandon Masseria. What up, man? And Sithret and motherfucking Lavish Patches out here. What up, my brothers? Joshua Demas, my nigga, and Laughing Man. How you doing, my brother? Okay, so let's put this like this. Let's put this into perspective because the numbers are important. All right, they are. So if we're not at 8 billion, we're real fucking close to it. And we're going to top out at about 9.5 billion altogether on the planet. Right. And then it's supposed to go back down. And that is by the World Health Organization. That's by the UN. That's by the fucking CIA. That's by every fucking body on the planet. That's the plan.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Right. That's the plan. They're not. I know the Georgia Guidestones and the 500 million people on Earth and all these type of things. Look, just stop. Just stop it. Okay. I understand that. Like, you know this, but it's not true and it's not happening.
I understand that you are a condescending young man who is ignorant about what is actually happening and has decided that you've got this jumbly mishmash that it's all not happening and that it's really kind of accidental forces. And I'm sorry if I can't talk you out of that stupid, ignorant, condescending mindset where you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Nigga, you are inadvertently using NLP right now. As of this moment, you are using NLP.
I am telling you factually what the plans of the elite are that you can go
and they suck at it.
And
Max,
suck at it.
But Max,
Neffel, are you the one who used to hang out with me on Tales from the Infrared?
Yes, he is.
Oh my God. One of those fuckers who lied his ass off about me repeatedly in the men's rights community. What a piece of lowlife shit you are. You're an ignorant asshole. I'm out now, boys. COVID-19, the Great Reset is
what did I do?
If you're
I don't even have a. I was barely around.
Max.
Okay, then somebody was lying in your name, and maybe I owe you an apology. Maybe
Neffel don't go around talking shit about people. He's not that type of dude.
Okay,
I usually stay to their fucking faces.
All right, but I'm going to tell you straight up, I don't need to be condescended to. I used to believe this bullshit you two believe, and that these plans aren't real.
I'm at this point. Man, I gotta be honest, man. I stopped caring a long time ago. Most people just don't want to do shit about it.
Well,
I lost the will to fight.
Most people don't want to because the goal is depopulation.
What up, Benny Blanco?
No, keep them
they are fine. They want the average person to die around the age of 35. Okay, they're fine with that result too. This is you're going to condescend to me. I'm going to walk away. Have a good night, gentlemen.
Oh my God.
I'm not condescending. I just talk about logic, reason, facts, and evidence.
I'm just
understand hypothesis.
Yeah, I understand where he's come from. Yeah, it's like
I understand, but
I believe this shit. Time Force, what up, man?
I believed in it too, and then I realized it doesn't fucking matter.
Back, no, I believed in it back in like #99 when I was heavy into Alex Jones, but like I grew up.
Yeah.
I just look at, but Tom, for me, it's very, you know, I'll go down the rabbit hole, but the thing is, I don't ignore reality, and telling me that I don't, telling us who don't know what we're talking about. If we have, listen, it's for me, it's utilitarianism on this regard, right? If your plan is to depopulate and you've done nothing but populate at an exponential rate compared to most of human history, then your plan sucks, or you're not doing it right.
How can you plan to have smart cities with all these millions of people in it and then only have like 500 million people on the whole planet?
Exactly. If you have 500 million people, that's literally going back to what, like Roman times or before?
Before.
Yeah, there hasn't been 500 million. You can't operate this world with 500 million people effectively. You need
as many people as possible to keep the machines running.
Yeah,
to basically be the fucking grunts.
You're talking like prehistoric numbers.
That's what I was thinking. Like there's been 1 billion people for a long period of time.
About 200 years.
Since the time of Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
2,000 years, 1 billion.
1 billion people is not as many as people think across this planet. The planet's not that big, but it's big enough.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
even
most people are concentrated in cities, and it's like Max used to say, you could actually put like 10 billion people into Canada, and it still would be spacious. It's just that you don't. It's not a smart move to actually put 10 billion people into a fucking single location. Oh, come on, nobody wants to be packed like rats.
I think not even Canada, like 8 million. I forget if it's Texas or it's New York. Like you can fit it in a singular state. Like it's not like it would be packed, but it's not as people would like, oh my gosh, we have overpopulation. No, we don't. No, we don't. It's ridiculous. Like it's these myths of control, honestly. Like it's just like you mentioned, it's population density that's the problem. It's not overpopulation.
Here's the thing, man. Like legitimately, we killed God and replaced it with government. And these niggas legitimately think that the elites are the government. Right.
True.
And that's really where it gets down to. And I wanted to bring that up too, right? Because fucking Benny Blanco, nigga, we talk about that all the time. Legit, that's one of the keys here is repeal the 19th is something we absolutely believe. We don't believe it for the same reasons as other people do. I believe it because I think women make dumb decisions, right?
Yeah.
Smart cities and shit. Women are fully behind living in smart cities, right? They don't really care where they live. They just hate having to be forced to be women, right? And then they want to be women, and then they fucking hate the fact that people want them to be women when they want to be women. They're fucking dumb, all right? They're literally pliable creatures that need to be controlled. That's kind of the mentality. You know what I'm saying?
Men just need to watch who they fucking breed with.
Yeah.
Get bandy.
The problem is because dudes think they can just bust nuts anywhere.
In my chat, you have a wrench, right? Let me make
sure the only way in order to change the fucking course in where we're going is to create a better culture. We need a very strong, better culture than what we have now. The problem is most people are not willing to take that responsibility and take that fucking initiative to actually build from the ground up. It's we got to hold those assholes, those head planners accountable for basically promoting the idea in the same place. But at the same time, we also have to hold the ignorant, dumb shit at the bottom for keep perpetuating it when we also got to take our responsibility as well. And we got to stop with this whole mentality of abdicating personal responsibility. I'm sorry. We have to be responsible for it. I don't want to be responsible. I was too young when all this shit was. I was still a baby still. But now that I'm getting older, it's and I know, and I have to become more self-reliant. I have to start fending for myself. I realize I'm going to be responsible for myself. I have to be responsible for it. I wish more people would start being more responsible with what they do. Is start taking responsibility. And that also means making a lot of sacrifices on our part as well. Because, shit ain't free. If you want freedom, you got to be willing to pay for it.
To your point,
here's the thing. I'm fully behind having less people, right? And that's the thing is I'm behind the ideology of having less people. I think that's something that would probably help quite a bit. And I'm going to explain why. Because I understand supply and demand, right? When there's less people, you can demand more for wages, right? So it's good for me. You know what I'm saying? It's good for my sons who have to go get jobs. This is important, right? And that's kind of my mentality as a whole. So I'm cool with having less people, right? And I'm not one of these guys who go, oh man, we can keep fitting more and more people. We'll just go to Mars and we'll go to them. And shut the fuck up. That's dumb, right? We're not going to stand here and go, oh man, we'll just find a way to da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm do we really want to keep finding a way? Do we want to keep shoving ourselves into more and more fucking smaller, cramped fucking spaces? Do we want to live fucking 15 to a house like they do in fucking places like China or fucking Vietnam? Is that how we want to live?
No,
to maintain our fucking space a little bit and enjoy ourselves. Have a little room to move around. I like that mentality. I don't like sitting in fucking traffic for 7 fucking hours every day. You know what I mean? I don't like the idea of fucking everywhere you go, you got to wear a mask because there's like fucking people carrying, you know what I mean, like fucking fresh killed chickens outside of their fucking briefcases on their way to work. I don't think that's a good way to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Right.
Tom, here's the thing. It's like you understand economics, and you understand that there are cycles and things reset themselves, right?
Yeah.
Here's what people don't understand about population, and what you brought up about things capping out at 9.5 billion. There's a reason why they're pretty confident about that. I don't even think it's going to get that far, at least not now. Because here's the thing. People don't understand. People aren't really having kids at the same rate, as you mentioned. But do people understand what that indicates? A lot of what we're dealing with is simply the byproduct of the baby boomer generation. They were having more kids. Well, people are waiting longer to have kids. People are having less kids. So that means that the population inherently is either going to stagnate or it's going to drop off.
Yeah,
People-
and another reason is because in cities where there's a lot of amenities, it's a lot more expensive to even have a kid. Hell,
Yes.
it takes a lot of hours just to get a fucking shitty studio apartment in a city.
Correct.
And it also depends on where you fucking live.
And kids are a luxury item inside of cities. And that's why TFM's wrong about fucking females, like not females being the reason that we're not having kids. They're not.
Yeah, no.
They're the byproduct. It's like giving females empowerment was just a
No,
byproduct.
no. It's really simple. Like the countries with the lowest fucking population rates are the ones with the highest motherfucking rates of urbanization.
Of course.
It's that simple. Like, yo, the more people you have packed in the cities, the less kids you have.
Some of that's biological with pheromones and such.
Yeah, I absolutely believe that. Like, I'm fucking behind you on that ideology, right? And
well, it's a lot of studies have gone into it if people have actually bothered to look at them. But anyways,
well, no. The problem is like none of the studies can agree, right? None of the
like
studies.
I don't remember. It's like
right.
Maxis. Oh, I was the one to talk.
Benny Blanco. We've had this conversation 50 times, and I proved it 50 times, right? Legit.
Yeah.
Look, real shit. All right. So if you go to the countries with the lowest population growth, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how, like, you know, fucking TFM goes like, oh, you know, there's a point where, you know, you're getting down to that level where you're not able to like fucking reproduce. You're not able to have enough to fucking have a functioning society. Right. Those countries are the countries that are the most urbanized.
Of course.
Right.
South
It's not
Korea,
countries
Japan,
that are the most
Singapore,
feminized. Right.
Yeah.
Like, yo,
take a look at Europe.
Benny, believe me, it's not about giving women the right to vote. All right. The rest of society is because of that. Everything else that we face that's shitty is because of that. Right. Yo, no. Worst in the world is South Korea, and then Taiwan, and then fucking Singapore, and then Japan. Right.
That's those three of the four I mentioned. Those are all highly urbanized, and it's basic math.
Most urban fucking living populations on the planet. For instance, in the Middle East, where like women have no fucking rights, right? Legit. There's countries with rates of like 1.4. For instance, the UAE, United Arab Emirates, is 1.4.
Urbanized.
It's urbanized, man.
Urbanized, right? But women have no rights. Kind of the same type of deal. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's a blind spot, you know what I'm saying, that some motherfuckers have. And like, it's just, you got to have your mind open to that new motherfucking shit. You know what I mean? Saudi Arabia is down to like 2.1, 2.2. You know what I mean? Look, and it's not a bad thing that we're having less kids, right? Legit. Having less kids.
It was naturally going to happen.
Yeah.
There was no need. And when people see no need, they're not going to do it.
China has a terminal demography.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why they're not going to be the next superpower.
We're not.
They have other issues besides that, but anyway,
resources, and of course, they pissed off their neighbors too much,
and they killed off a lot of baby girls.
Brandon Macera, you would be wrong that most Middle Eastern countries are 3 to 5 kids. You are wrong about that.
Oh, absolutely, they're not.
like
people don't know people from other nations and cultures, Tom. They think they do. They hear things reported on they believe in this, but have you ever actually met people? That's a funny thing that goes with me. People don't actually, like Neffels talking about, do the work. They don't even fucking know people in their own communities. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like people really don't understand shit, right?
The average,
You know what
I would
mean?
say,
Like
the average
fucking the
families
fertility
these
rate.
days are 2.5 to 3 kids, and that's a family today across the globe. That would be my just guess. Most people aren't having kids like that anymore. They're not having 15 kids.
The question is, does anybody really
Yo.
want to have 15 kids?
Does anybody what?
The real question is, does anyone really want 15 kids?
Oh, it is beneficial. Okay, the reason
Yeah.
why there were so many kids, all right, besides people just pumping out kids at a young
Oh
age.
yeah, because back then there was no industrialized farm equipment. Everyone had to do manual labor, so more kids means more hands around to tend to the farm. Also, it gives more soldiers to protect your family, and also because most kids, there was infant mortality. Period.
Wait, Brandon. Yo, Brandon. This is the Middle East motherfucking birth rate as a whole.
Of course, it's dying. Of course,
Yeah.
They got that money flow. They don't need to have fucking kids.
Right.
They're killing the culture.
Yeah.
Neffel, I would say
I'm gonna read these off to you. How about Algeria's 3.0, Bahrain's 2.0, Djibouti, that's shitbag country, 2.7, right? Fucking Egypt's 3.3, Iran is 2.1, right? Fucking Iraq's 3.7, but that's because like like all the people are young there. Israel's 3.1, Jordan is 2.8, Kuwait is 2.1, Lebanon's 2.1, Libya's 2.2, Malta is 1 point, right? Morocco's 2.4, Qatar is 1.9, right? Motherfucking Qatar, legit. Saudi Arabia is at 2.3, Tunisia is 2.2, United Arab Emirates at 1.4.
West Bank 3.6.
Yep.
Gaza.
Yep. Fucking Syria's 2.8. Tunisia's 2.2. Fucking Yemen's 3.8. Right. But I'm saying, like, most of these Middle Eastern countries is at 2 or below.
And I wonder what the life expectancy is, because there probably is a correlation.
No, because like that don't matter how old you live to be. You know what I mean? The Middle East and North Africa's fucking current birth rate, and that was 2018's 2.8.
There you go.
Yeah,
I was right. 2 to 3 kids.
It ain't even up to date.
Yeah. Oof.
2018 is pretty close. It's pretty good. But Neffel, it goes beyond what you were just saying about why there were so many kids. You had not just free labor, but you didn't have to afford to have to pay somebody. You had family inheritance and more. Like it was just beneficial. And they had ways of raising them. Plus you have to think about birth rate, deaths, and things of that nature. But it was just easier, and they were having kids at a younger age. So you just had more time. When you start at 30, you're maxing out at 40.
Botswana was at 2.9. The only places that are really high is like Burkina Faso's at 5.2, right?
Of course.
Cameroon's at 4.6. Fucking the Central African Republic's at 4.7. Chad's at 5.7. Congo's at 5.9. The other Congo's at 4.4. I don't even know
what Cote d'Ivoire is.
4.6. Like, just they don't live in cities. They all still live in huts.
That too. Well, I said cultural reasons for a reason. That includes
Dominica in the Caribbean is at 1.9. Right. Eritrea, I don't even know if that's a real country. 4.1.
It is. It's in East
Ethiopia
Africa.
Is 0.2. Right. Like, fucking all these places. France is at 1.9.
Eritrea is like this little midget country near Somalia and Ethiopia and such.
Gambia is at 5.2. Right. Ghana's at 3. Again, Africa is the only place that's reproducing. Guinea. Right. Not Papua New Guinea, just Guinea. Right. Guyana is 2.5. Haiti's at 2.9. Honduras is at 2.5. Hong Kong is at 1.1.
I'm surprised it's even not at that point.
India is at 2.2. How about that
Which is low for them. Low for them.
That's pretty low because now that India is practically a country of 1 billion plus people now.
But then again, you do have this new generation that are more westernized and are waiting on having kids too. So
yeah,
Malta's at 1.2. Oh, look, Mali's at 5.9. They're still having 6 kids per fucking female. I don't know how many are living. Yeah, Mozambique's at 4.9.
I mean, what Max says, regardless, are they going to try to reduce population in a way to kill? No, you don't really need to kill them. People are just waiting longer to have kids because of all the tech and everything is becoming modernized.
Yo, Puerto Rico's at 1.
Also, I will put it out here like this. It is partially on the women in this regard, where there's been studies to say people are sleeping together less than ever.
Somalia's at 6.1. Like, I'm just going to read off the really bad one. Spain's at 1.3. Right. Just so I can show you, like, yo, fucking, like, what the deal is and what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, the worst of them, like, the best of them are in motherfucking, the highest rates are in Africa, right? And the lowest rates are in motherfucking, fucking, again, like, fucking Ukraine, 1.3. The lowest rates are in fucking, like, the Asian islands for the most part. Right. I just got to fucking find them. I don't know where the fuck they are.
Tom, do you think resources at all have any part to play in that?
Well, part of it, but on the same, again, it's resources and urbanization, dude. It's how many people are packed in the cities. Sub-Saharan Africa, excluding high income, is both at 4.7, right? Well, these here are just fucking whatever. But yeah, the worst places in the world are places with high population or with high urbanization rates.
Of course.
Like, it is what it is. Like, the more people you pack in the cities,
can we check what the population rate is in Belize? I'm gonna see if Belize? We haven't. Yeah, in Belize. Yeah, I know we're probably still at 400,000 people. Not even close to 1 million.
I'm trying to get rid of this thing. There we go.
Belize isn't that big, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Belize is 2.3.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
right
what
at replacement.
Yeah.
Bolivia's at 2.7. Right. Brazil's at 1.7.
Wow.
Brazil has a lot of issues.
Yeah. Political corruption, monkey gangs.
I mean, yeah, you got favela violence and such. Like they that's reason as to why they killing motherfuckers over there. So
yeah. No, I do like how Bolsonaro pretty much handles his business, but I doubt even he could save Brazil from collapse.
Well, Brazil has a history, like a long history of problems. So dating back, we're talking centuries. So it's I don't even blame the people in that regard. It's been piss poor mismanagement, moving, and I know why they did it, but moving the capital and building up Brasilia in the middle of the nation was dumb. I get why they did it because they didn't want coastal power, but it was dumb.
Yeah,
that ain't helping anybody.
Oh yeah, this is an even. Here we go. Right. Okay, so the most urbanized, like, check us out. Like, here's the lowest one. South Korea's at 1, Puerto Rico's at 1, Hong Kong's at 1.1. Actually, South Korea's at 0.74 right now. Singapore's at 1.1. Macau in China's 1.2. Malta 1.2. Spain 1.3. Moldova 1.3. Bosnia 1.3. Italy 1.3. Ukraine 1.3. Right? Like, all these countries are the most urbanized countries on the fucking planet.
These are also the nations I'm not shocked by, and some of them had economic problems over this past decade, so I'm not shocked.
Yeah, look, Thailand's at 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
Right? These, like, yo, hang on, wait. It's gonna get up here to population replacement. 111 out of fucking 200 countries. 111 out of 197 countries. Right? Out of 200 countries are all motherfucking under the replacement rate.
This is what I keep trying to tell people.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand what's going on.
people your choices.
Look at this, and look at this. Countries where women have no rights. Look, Turkey, Kuwait, Lebanon, motherfucking Iran, Tunisia, India, Libya, motherfucking. Hang on, wait. I saw another couple up here. Oh, Saudi Arabia, right? Indonesia. All these countries, no rights for females. Yo, they're barely above replacement. They're below the world's average.
Of course.
Yeah.
And again,
and all these countries with high
but
numbers
just
here,
like
all
modern feminists, the shit is a lie.
Yeah, all these numbers, actually fucking Iraq's at 3.7. But other than that, all these countries are all in motherfucking Africa. Except I got Pakistan and
What's
Iraq.
Pakistan
is at 3.5.
Pakistan is also known as India Zit.
Yeah.
How much of the population are young people? I'm curious, as opposed to old people. That would be something I would look into.
With Pakistan?
Yeah. And same thing with Iraq.
Oh, Iraq's pretty much, I'm guessing, all young people because like everybody else got murdered in the wars.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because if it's that high compared to their neighbors, that means it's probably a majority young people. Because some of these nations, just like the reason I brought up life expectancy, though, Tom, is I've noticed a trend because looking into these matters that, yes, the urbanization, but it's also a lot of life expectancy across the world is around 75. And so I wonder if that has something to do with it. People have this mindset of, oh, I can have kids later in my life.
It probably is that as well. I mean, when you come with medicine,
I know for women that's the truth. A lot of women think like that, and a lot of guys are like, "Oh, I don't want to have kids."
Yeah, I mean, like legit, like it comes down to the point of where, like, legit, we're just gonna have to have central planning on where people live.
I think that's what a lot want to do.
Well, it's going to get to the point where you're going to be like, well, we had to limit how many people live inside of cities in our countries.
Or don't have force every fucking opportunity to go towards cities. Stop killing the industries outside of cities.
Yeah.
Start they keep doing that. That's why people like myself end up in cities a lot of times. We weren't born in them.
Yeah,
but we see the opportunity.
Yeah, start creating opportunities outside cities as well, because we all know the rural folk, they've been on the welfare for too long, and they want to start providing for their families once again. Start bringing manufacturing jobs back. Start creating jobs. Start creating like off-grid centers. Like create parallel society. That's the only way to actually fight this system.
Absolutely.
I mean, violent insurrection is practically suicide at this point, because we all know
you just got to play smart.
Yeah, play smart. Don't be stupid. Don't go full retard on fucking protests. Choose your battles wisely. That's one of the rules of the art of war.
Guerrilla warfare, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when will people start incentivizing on actually creating sustainable networks outside of cities that no matter what happens, people will still be able to sustain themselves, even in rural areas?
Neffel, I'll break that down. So there have been a lot of, since the 70s, every attempt, and I'll speak specifically with the United States, every attempt, except for places like Tom talks about in Appalachia and whatever, but they have their own history. Every attempt in the United States in the modern era where people try to do these communities and they start becoming successful. Let me put the key emphasis on becoming successful. Do you know what the federal government does?
Tax them to death?
Sometimes it's raids. Sometimes it's like, I remember Humboldt County, 1970, where cannabis was, and they were making bank, right? Federal government comes in and is like, sorry, nah, we can't allow this shit to happen. Every single time. Tennessee had this problem as well. Every single time that people go off the grid, or if it's a certain encampment, even if there's nobody in the area, federal government will be like, sorry, this is an illegal occupation or whatever they want to term it, and just literally destroy it.
All right, Time Force 80. All right, check this out, right? Here's the thing. I want to expose the Ponzi scheme of motherfucking like goddamn the fucking financial system as a whole, right? I want to expose the Ponzi scheme of fiat currency, right? I want to stand here and show how worthless our dollars are. So I don't care. I legitimately don't fucking care. I want to throw every Mexican out of the country so it would cause literally more people, right, to like end up fucking going hungry and force like normal human beings to go and work in the fields and force farmers to pay like $30 an hour to those people to go pick strawberries, because I want to expose the fact that they've been using cheap labor and slave labor across the oceans to hide the fact that they were standing here, right, fucking destroying our goddamn fucking currency. Legit. I don't fucking care. That's my I just don't care. Right? Because like real shit, if we had a decent currency, you could bring back manufacturing and not fuck us. Right?
Tom,
what do I think about Bitcoin value skyrocketing? I think Bitcoin has already begun crashing, and I jumped out of that shit like yesterday and cashed in. Like after I started losing like 20% a day, and I was like, no. Right.
oh, you got out wise. If I would advise you, I would have advised you as soon as you saw that dip. Oh no, get the fuck out, because you know what's coming. There's no sustainability in that. But Tom, what you were saying,
legit, man, fucking, yo, man, wait, yo, what I'll tell you what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put in my motherfucking joint, right?
Tom,
oh man, wait, man, I'm fucking, yo, putting my joint in my fucking streamlabs.com/Pinoid news, nigga. Yo, hit that motherfucking donation and you make it 600 grand on Hex. Tom Pease needs some help over this bitch. You know what I mean? Like your real shit. I still own some Ethereum and shit, to be honest with you. I cashed out of Bitcoin though because like it started fucking crashing a couple days ago. But anyway, what up, nigga? What up, Dip?
Yeah, what you were just saying about the slave labor and whatnot, or the pennies on the dollar, if you will, from Florida with the citrus, industry. It was huge. Growing up, you used to see orange groves, you used to see all kinds of farms, right? South Florida was huge with farms and such, West Florida and all these other places. You had Tropicana and other big corporations buy out or force out these small farms. The government came in and is like, nah, we're not having this. And now you barely see it. You also see the price of these things go up and more. And they forced out small farmers. Some people had farms for generations, right? And this is what I'm talking about. I've seen this firsthand. I've seen it in my home county, to where it's difficult for a lot of people to have businesses in smaller areas, and it forces them out. They just can't afford it.
But at one point, will people just basically put their fucking foot down and tell the Fed, look, these are our communities. This is our fucking town. You have no fucking right to just waltz over in here telling us what to do. We don't want to move to these fucking cities. So just leave us the fuck alone. And Tom, I'm behind that ideology of starting the Leave Me Alone party. I mean, when will people actually
this was my whole ideology. Like I fucking did a whole video on this, right? Because like legitimately, I think that if you eliminate property taxes and eliminate all the fucking bullshit government that's in these goddamn towns, right? Like the moment that like one of these big factories leave, you know what I mean, and let individuals just stay in their fucking houses and, you know what I mean, feed them fucking selves, you know, where like they can go out back and grow whatever they want without the government telling them some nonsense. Right. That's really, you know what I mean? Like fucking where I got down to with it. Like, I think we need to have a libertarian mindset on these type of things. Like, why are you telling them, well, move somewhere else where there's work? Like, yo, fuck that. How about you restart your economy from the bottom up? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You start growing food and selling food, and I'm saying selling moonshine and wine and fucking juices and whatever the case might be, and start from the agriculture back up to motherfucking regular industry again. Like, why is it that we have to get into the level of where everybody hops on welfare or fucking moves and abandons their goddamn
Because the
house?
government wants to tax you out, Tom. That's why.
I feel you, but that's dumb.
That's literally the reason. Moonshine. The reason moonshine's still illegal to this day is because the hillbillies, because the hill folk were like going all the way back. Alexander Hamilton's like, we got this massive war debt. Ooh, they're making this, and they're like, dude, we've been making the Scotch Irish are like, we've been making this for centuries. No, we just fought a war with taxation without representation. You're not going to fuck with us. And moonshine's still illegal to this day. Because they were like, no.
Yeah.
Gotta respect the rednecks and hillbillies for sticking to their guns.
Well, you know, I'm from Appalachians. You know what I'm saying? I'm an Appalachian mud gorilla in the end of the day, or Appalachian river gorilla. I changed that last year, right? I'm an Appalachian river gorilla in the end of the day. And I'll be honest with you, Benny Blanco. Like, look here, man. Like, I got niggas who retired off my investment advice. Like, yo, I just wish I had the fucking funds to start.
Hey, that's the way to do it, Tom. I respect it. Yeah,
I mean,
that's how you're supposed to do it.
Like, yeah, I know how things move. Like, I pay attention to macro and just invest in that fucking way, because I think it's easy. You know what I mean? I know logistics, as I was a logistics manager for a long time, so I understand how companies operate. You know, and so when I see somebody making certain types of moves, I know, you know, I mean, that's a positive investment or a negative one. Buy the dip, nigga. It's how it always works. You know, but yeah, man, like, yo, I like, as an Appalachian, you know, like, fucking, we always had that mentality of, you know, we're not gonna do what the fuck you tell us to do. You know what I mean?
Go ahead.
To answer the when people will, this whole I keep saying how docile over the last 6 or 7 months, how docile, pussified, pacified, and civilized people are. This whole notion about, and you know what, in what we've seen, the whole capital situation, I'm not going into it, but the mentality, I keep hearing this demon, oh, there should never be violence, there should never be political bullshit. If you look at American history, and again, I've detailed it multiple times, but the main point I'm getting at is stop demonizing necessary violence. I don't think violence should just be willy-nilly used, but there are times, if you don't believe in violence, how the fuck can you agree with the policia? How can you agree with the military? That's the questions I ask the people. You advocate for, you're so pro this, but do they not use violence?
But the thing is, the only reason why you're allowed to be peaceful is because you have other people committing violence on your behalf. That's pretty much the same argument we have to debunk pacifists. No, the only reason why you're allowed to have pacifism in the first place is because other people are committing violence on your behalf.
I'm one who sometimes has to do that, and not in an invasive way.
I'd rather not get into unnecessary fights, but if it's unavoidable, I will drop kick a motherfucker onto the pavement.
I've had to grapple fools. I've had to pull knives on it. Not hurting people. I haven't hurt them, but you sometimes just have to step up as a man. And like Trace Atkins said, whoop a man's ass. Sometimes you just have to step up, because if you don't, somebody will get hurt. That's my mentality. You have to sometimes protect people. And until we stop demonizing violence, and that's why I'm anti-civilization, because I can't accept this bullshit.
Me neither, man. Fuck civilization. It's to the fucking.
Man, I'm not a big, like, I'm not on that type of shit, right? Like, I understand that. I got kids, right? And that's my problem, right? And so I got kids, and so I understand the need for civilization as a whole. You know,
I get it.
I need my kids to be fucking safe while I'm going to work and shit, right? And that's kind of my mentality. But on the same point, you know what I mean? Like, I always reserve the right to break a motherfucker wide open when need be. Y'all know who the fuck I am and how I feel about these type of things.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm not the type to, like, I've never, like, I don't back down from shit. You know what I mean? It's not how it operates. You know what I mean? I've busted many motherfuckers wide open when need be. But it's just, you know, on that same point, you know, you get to a certain level and you get to a certain age where you're no longer like able to fucking hold your own
Right.
against a whole bunch of grown men anymore like you used to be able to.
Right. Tom,
Everybody's
what
gonna
I'm saying.
time is undefeated, homie.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Tom,
yeah.
what I'm saying isn't that, people shouldn't have a right to cohabitate and coexist peacefully. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking the mentality of civilization. We've seen it throughout human history, time and time again, repeated so. In the old West, quote unquote Wild West, what happened when civilized folk came in? Prostitution wasn't an issue. A lot of things like guns and more, they weren't issues. What happened? Civilized folk from the East come over and fucked everything up. It happens time and time again. This urbanization of cities, the shit you're talking about, it's the mentality. It's not so much cohabitation, it's the mentality of the people that exist in these places.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's where you get a divide.
yeah, it's always going to be between urban folk and rural folk. Urban wants, complete security over all their aspects, even though it will never be attained. And in order for
Correct.
them to get this false notion of security, they have to impose their will over others. They have to get fucking violent. But rural folk, they just want to be left the fuck alone and live life the way they see it. Like it's complete agency. They don't want some fucking Ivy League prep asshole going into their business telling them how to live their fucking lives. They want to say, I just want to sit on my porch, grow my pumpkins, sip some fucking moonshine and beer, and shoot some deer, then fuck my wife and pop out another kid. I don't need some fucking yuppie from New York to tell me how I should be happy. That's their that's every rural folks mentality.
Let me say this, right? Like the Silver Eagle, man. Look, all right. Like ever have a Jamaican dude pop out on you? Just like he goes, give me your stuff, right? Whatever you'll be like, Bumbla, motherfucker.
Bumbla.
Right. Like, like I had one of them Jamaican niggas test me out one time, home. He ended up laying on the fucking deck looking up at me. And he's like, all right, old head. Like, because that nigga thought I was soft. You know what I mean? Because I was just
they will try you. Some shotters will try your ass. You just gotta have respect.
Man, legit. Sometimes you gotta reserve that right to break a motherfucker. Legit, I grabbed this motherfucker, hit him with the shoulder, and dumped him into the motherfucking corner. You know what I mean? You have to be like, all right, old head. I was like, don't get anything fucking lunching on me, motherfucker. I'm built like that. You know what I mean?
Tom, I've had to explain it, especially to some of these young ladies out here, as to why.
Nigga, Benny, stop motherfucking fed posting in the chat, nigga. It's not cool, legit. Like, them niggas is gonna motherfucking shut my channel down. I already had one on this motherfucking bitch tonight try to fucking get me. You already on that bullshit. Like, you have not. Quit motherfucking Chris Kyling up my chat and shit. It's cool.
Remember, we have to seek Kyle. He knows the answers.
Yeah. There's real easy ways to do this and speaking code. Like, legit, don't be fed posting up in the chat. It's not pimping. Legit. Like, real shit. I gotta go fucking grab that goddamn comment and shit. Legit, motherfuckers, I swear to God. Like,
Yeah, right. Man, it's like it's okay if you fed post, but do it ironically. But don't. But then again, you'll still have dumb motherfuckers taking shit out of context.
Man, like legit, they're cracking down on everybody. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Yeah. And I'm not trying to be a bitch. You know what I mean? Nothing like that. But they are just cracking the fuck down on motherfuckers and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to lose my goddamn channel behind some fucking nonsense. Let me make sure Gumbo got a fucking wrench, man.
Hey, that's why I always stick to niche topics.
That does help, Neffel. I haven't been touching you, so that shit does help. Or do it under veiled shit.
Yeah.
I still talk explicitly, but like in middle of videos. So they actually have to listen to the entire thing to be able to get some of that shit.
Yeah, man, it's all about being low key. And right now, because we got Sleepy Joe Biden in office, de facto we may get Kamala. Being low key and keeping
Kamala's
a low profile.
the problem, man. It ain't even Joe. It's fucking Kamala. I know exact. I knew it as soon as who nobody likes her. Even the Democratic Party didn't fucking like her, and they elected her. I'm like, oh my god, here we go. I know what they were trying to do from the beginning. I'm like, this shit here. She the worst of the worst. Hillary Clinton's the worst. She's the worst of the worst, man. Kamala's the worst, man. Beyond. She's horrible.
Yeah, she's not the worst. You could have Hillary Clinton. She's way worse.
Kamala's basically centrist.
I know. I called Hillary Clinton the worst. The reason I said Kamala Harris is the worst of the worst is because she doesn't even try to hide how she's contradicting. At least Hillary Clinton, you know where she fucking stands. Insidious and heinous as she is, you know where she stands. Kamala Harris is a wolf in sheep's clothing to the nth degree. She's literally everything she claims is a lie out of her damn mouth. I can't even. She lies so naturally. I can't even tell what's a true story at all. Those are the worst people to me.
Yo, I feel like Brandon legit has been listening to too much QAnon. Right.
What does QAnon, Tom? What does QAnon? Because I hear the term, but what do they teach? What is their doctrine? I don't know them like that.
Yeah, look, all you got to know is them niggas got shamans.
Brandon, it's because it's a ritual. I predict Joe Biden will have severe health problems by not even making it 6 months. He looks rough. A ritual. Mm-hmm. Brandon, have you been?
That man was high on Adderall during his quote unquote debates. The man was high on Adderall. I swear. Yeah.
All right, Brandon. What kind of rituals have you been playing at?
Yo, Benny, legitimately, you need to go back and start watching my older content. You know what I'm saying? The past like 6 months. Yo, we know all about things right now. Like, I know exactly what's going on. Shit, like, yo, I've already stated all this. Like, you know, I know what this is from the jump. This is, you know, all right. So all the companies that, you know, I mean, we're funding Black Lives Matter and, you know what I'm saying, fucking Antifa, and we're all anti-Trump and all this type of bullshit. It's for some reason, it's the same companies that, you know, manufacture all their products in fucking China. Right. And it's the same, like, yo, for instance, did you know that like Hewlett Packard and Microsoft and Apple all have all their PCs are all made in China, and all their microchips are made in China. Right. And they don't want to invest the fucking shit to, you know what I mean, because they're all automated systems. Right. Like, you don't really require much as far as workers are concerned. This ain't even about like bringing workers back. Right. It's all automated systems and shit. Right. Like, did you know that like they just don't want to invest the fucking money to fucking build a facility in America to build this shit? You know what I mean? Like, yo, that's, you know what I mean? Like, yo, that's really where all this is, because they're upset about the fact that the United States was going to take away their security guarantee. You know what I mean? That they wouldn't be able to move their fucking products across the goddamn oceans anymore for fucking free unless they provided the security, and they cannot do so. So therefore, all these companies legitimately are fucking highly upset about that shit, that the American people are no longer interested in continuing to pay for the fucking security guarantee for the entire world's fucking trade, while they continue to get poor. You know what I mean?
And Neffel, remember you brought up about people standing up and doing something. I've noticed a tactic that is used, like Tom talked about, these corporations buying out. They will say, because as one who deals,
hang on a minute, Lavish Patch, we're talking in the billions of dollars it would cost them to fucking like, because in order to make like the silicone chips and the fucking microchips that they need to make, right, for like all the processors and shit that they do in China, like you literally have to grow the crystals and like dope them and do all this type of shit, right? So they don't want to invest the $1 billion in infrastructure.
Is it tens or hundreds of billions?
It's tens of billions. It's like tens of billions of dollars they're going to have to invest to build it here. Because like they started off there with like, you know what I mean, like a regular factory, and it turned into what it is. So it's been like, you know what I mean, like it's been like like fucking just a long-term little by little money thing. You know what I mean? Benny, I got you. Yo, my powder's dry and I got like 10,000 rounds of ammo, nigga. I'm good.
Like 100 rounds of 100 clips.
Nigga, I got 100 rounds, 100 clips. Nigga, I'm from New York.
That's
New
exactly what
York.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, but
I
it's
got
like
100 rounds, 100 clips, but I
automatic
don't hear no
people get
shots.
food in their bellies and got their fucking Netflix. No one is actually going to go out and do something
Well,
about it.
Neffel,
Yeah.
here's one of the tactics besides the divide and conquer is one who's on the grassroots level and a lot of this shit. One of the ways that there's two ways that they do it. So like Tom brought up about Black Lives Matter and TV. Here's the thing. You got to separate between the corporate entity organization and the people actually on the ground. And there is a fundamental difference because most of the people on the ground see no money, but they make it to where they corporatize this stuff. And then the shit gets watered down and destroyed that way. Or in another way is besides legislated out, is they'll say make a nonprofit. Oh, dude, you don't know how many times I keep hearing that shit. Or just make it a nonprofit. In order to be able to get help, we need a nonprofit. They do this kind of bullshit. Besides legislating out, so every time anyone stands up and it's actually about the shit in a radical when they break off, they're demonized and more. It gets every single organization is always has to deal with these problems. Every single one, bro. And so nothing ever gets done because they get caught up in the legislative process. And a lot of us are like, fuck that shit.
Yeah, I was like, fuck that shit, man. Let's just work outside. Let's just basically not even be in the
drunk or autistic, one of the two.
Both.
Yeah, I mean, like, I hate to be a dick, but I got a doctor's appointment on Friday, and I got to go get my kids. Like, yo, you know, that's
Benny.
And then for a lot of us who are on the grounds, we don't have the funds, and funding is everything.
And by the way, like, you know, the people who, like, for instance, when they were having a protest or something along these type of deals, right? What they were doing is they were standing here, they were standing here paying for the busing with this type of money, right?
Yep.
You know what I mean? And like they pay for like the fucking, you know what I mean, the riot shields or the fucking gear, you know what I mean, or whatever the case was. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
The rest of us, we have to hand make that shit. We don't have fucking resources. Most of us are broke as fuck. Who are really bought this
like
shit.
the places where like they had like, you know what I'm saying, like they rented out like a small space or whatever, and they fucking got a whole bunch of lumber out of fucking, you know what I mean, Lowe's or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Jim, I see you, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So praise the Lord and pass the ammo, and then proceeded to my name, rifle the Lord. I guess I'm invisible. You are not invisible, nigga. I see you. You know what I mean? But like your fucking Jones is not matching up, and I'll understand. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck, you know what I mean, you're at right now. Like, I can't constantly be up on the chat, you know what I mean? But like my attention is on motherfucking, you know what I mean, Benny Blanco, who continues to Fed post in my chat. You know what I mean? Like, yo, legit. Because I'm like, yo, nigga, you gotta calm the fuck down. We can't be talking about doing things on my stream. Real shit. Like, yo, nobody's gonna be starting a fight because like there's not enough people here. We got 23 people watching and 3 people on stream. That's 26 people. That is not enough to take over a police station, let alone any type of like real structure. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, most of us is all over the goddamn place.
That's the problem right there.
Dips in Seattle, Neffels in fucking Nevada, and I'm in fucking PA. Like, yo, Laughing Man's down in motherfucking Lancaster. Like, even me and Laughing Man would still have a 2-hour ride to catch up with each other.
That's literally every time in every place I've ever been in with protesting and more is like those of us who are about it. We're very voluntary people, and we'll come together. But just getting us together is the issue. We'll fuck shit up, but it just getting us together is the issue because everybody has fucking lives.
Yeah.
You
know. I'm cool where I'm at, nigga. Like, I'm up in the woods by a river, a bunch of streams, mountains on all sides of me. I'm straight. Like, yo, you could not choose a better battleground than where I am. There's one way in, one way out. You know what I'm saying?
How far are you from Gettysburg?
About 40 minutes or so.
I thought so because you just reminded me of why the Union won at the battle. It just made a flashback. Oh
yeah, like legit. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the deal. You know what I mean? Like you cannot how do I put this? You can't lose a battle in PA. Like, yo, if you lose a battle in PA, you're a shitty general. I'll be real with you.
Do you think PA would just fuck it up and secede from the union? Is like fuck y'all and be in the middle of the shit?
Yo, because they can't beat us. You know what I mean? Like, yo, where our resources are entirely, you can't starve us out. You know what I mean? You like, what are you gonna do to us? You know what I mean? Like, yo, we're fucking cool. Like literally, we have bison farms around here. like and everything grows. We have corn. We got like fucking Hershey's chocolate started here. Why? Because we have some of the most fertile ground in the country. Like we have fucking food that grows out of the goddamn fucking ground everywhere. Water literally comes out of the side of the mountain, and they have pipes in there that people put in, like copper pipes that just pull water out of the rocks, right? And it's fucking, you can just fill your fucking jug up going down the road.
Tom, you know what your theme song for the channel might need to be? Country Boy Can Survive or Will Survive by Hank Williams Jr. That's all I hear, literally.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yo, fucking bison meat is the shit, dude. Real talk.
I mean,
it's good as fuck.
Let's be honest. I think we gotta. A lot of people really need to lay off the whole QAnon kind of stuff, man. It's really not good for your brain. I'm not saying that it's all bullshit. I don't even know, man. It's like everything, like a lot of intelligence things happening. But the ones that are actual government conspiracies, well, a lot of them have been declassified, available on the government sites themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this was going on for decades. Just that now that they're released, most people who lived in those days are either dead or old.
Yeah, like like I always tell people, you can always fact check anything, and sometimes I'm off, but a lot of the stuff I'm talking about, just go look at declassified information. It's not
that hard.
No. And I'm not even one who scours. Like I get shit presented to me, or hell, even watch some documentary sometimes. And yes, be very wary. But a lot of times, even the History Channel talks about a lot of this shit. Like people are just ignorant, man. It gets frustrating. It really does.
It's like, are there still things that the government does in shady shit? Yeah. Yeah, the government has always done shady shit since the 30s.
I'm of the mentality.
Most governments have done shady shit since governments have been a thing.
Yeah, I'm of the mentality, like, for example, if it's an operation.
If y'all see somebody hitting in the chat, look, legit, that nigga just fed posting too much. Like, yo, real shit. It's getting dangerous to be fed posted that fucking much. And Futternut, what up, man? Fucking like, yo, you tried to call me earlier. I'm doing a stream. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like just hanging out with my niggas, be talking about things. What's going on with you?
Well, I don't know what your channel is, so I haven't been able to watch, or else I would have. I'm assuming your other guests are just douchebags.
Neffels pretty cool, man. And Dip's a dude from up in Seattle. Like fucking, we're all kind of
originally from South Florida, so I have a different mentality.
Well, if we want to go to the United States. I lived in Wyoming and Utah. Fight me, bitch.
Neffels in Nevada. Fucking, he's originally from Chicago, but he's actually a Belizean immigrant. Fucking, he's a cool ass dude though. Young kid, you know what I mean, trying to get his shit together, work, you know what I mean, hold down job, that type of stuff.
Yeah. So what are we talking about?
Man, the general state of where things are as a whole in this country.
Yeah, and what we could do to move on and just hold our own. So no matter what happens.
Can we all just stop watching YouTube?
No, I kind of like YouTube. It got like the best information on it.
I like YouTube. Yeah,
YouTube.
That's where I get like most of my news and shit. Multiple channels. I ain't gonna lie. I meant most of you guys
on YouTube. I meant most of you guys on YouTube. It's like no one's really gonna get
multiple That's the purpose of the internet.
Yeah, compared to
You know,
fun
it's
fact,
outside
there's
of,
less
or it's supposed to be
censorship
outside
on
of
YouTube
censorship.
than Twitch now. Believe it or not,
Yes.
there's actually less censorship on
I never
YouTube than
went
Twitch and Live.
All right. No, you're
I never
lying.
went over to Twitch. I never trusted it.
Well,
No,
apparently
Twitch
now,
is a fucking problem, bro. People need to wake the fuck up.
yeah.
No,
And
what it
anytime
is
you get more
is
corporate involved, it's going to be more censorship.
I hate to say it, but YouTube is corporate. It's no longer what we originally joined for.
Yeah, but you just have
You've been dealing corporate since like 2008, but it's less corporate because there's so many different people posting different shit. Like you can
It's
still
like
do shit. You just gotta be smart.
Yeah, you just gotta basically do like a real deep dive into YouTube's algorithms if you know how to still go through clickable links.
Okay.
I mean, the only thing YouTube still, as long as YouTube's got like some pretty good music that you can find, it's still stable. But I hate defending Susan, but with a platform, there's really no other platform other than YouTube. It's the only thing that's functional.
They mainly hide my shit, so there's no love lost. I'm just honest. So,
yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you
if they don't
right
want you
where
to be
it
seen,
is.
you won't be seen.
I'll tell you right where it is. Is you tell me abstract person that's on YouTube.
An abstract person that's on YouTube?
Like QAnon type.
Well, how about like Charlemagne's on YouTube? His shit's awesome. You got Razor Fist is pretty fucking good. Tim Pool still drops a lot of decent information every once in a blue moon.
Okay, I know
about his
I've
policies.
heard of Razor Fist. I know Razor Fist, like from back in the day. Not really, but yeah. Tim Pool, actually, you know what? He's one that I actually completely follow. He is a fence sitter. He's one that will bring a couple articles a day and make me look into those articles.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at as far as news is really concerned. You know what I mean? I like Charlemagne. He does a lot of really good work on history and philosophy. I like fucking infographics channel. I like trying to think here. What Ifithist? Fucking he is awesome.
Infographics, I think I follow.
Yeah. Ifithist is fucking awesome too. I follow Joe Budden just to hear what's going on in the black community because I like to hear what the streets is talking about.
Joe Budden kills me. I don't watch his ass. He be off the rails, bro.
What about Joe Whiteley?
And we'll talk about the as with Max Ranty on the Luciferian calls, we'll talk about what the elites' religions are another time. It's basically scientism, progressive liberal Christianity that's just repackaged as secular atheism. As with the whole weird mystery religions, it's mostly Neo-Babylonianism, Luciferianism, Neo-Babylonianism, along with inverted versions of Hermeticism, like pervertivarian of it, and of course a little bit of the you sprinkle a little Kabbalah into it. Huh?
I like Gray still paganism
as well.
Yeah. So is this where we're going into? Is we just go a little bit further and further and further into everything?
Yeah, man. You talk about whatever, and then like we can deep dive into anything.
But it's like this. That's pretty much just a brief summary of what the elites believe in. That's a topic we can save for another video.
Yeah,
but now I feel like a 2014 normie. Now I'm feeling like the person I wished I was. That never actually looked into anything. Just love CNN. CNN can't prove me wrong.
It's like the allegory of Plato's cave. Once you actually know what the world really is, you can't unlook. There is no going back.
That is a bitch with knowledge.
Or what if
Yeah.
you were born in that cave?
Yo, Mad
What if you
Dodge
were
is
born in the cave?
Then it's an
Mad
even
Dodge-
bigger
Mad Dodge
bitch when
died,
you get
man.
out
Like,
of it.
he's not around anymore, but MC's awesome too. I like MC. I was actually talking to him yesterday. Fucking motherfucking love MC. He's the shit. You know what I mean? I told him no, he needs to start dropping shorter videos. You know what I mean? Fucking like, yo, he'll get a whole lot more views and more subs real quick.
All right. Well, one, I don't know what your YouTube or Twitch thing is.
Well, I'm Pinoid News on YouTube.
Yeah, I know. But I'm not watching it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
You can see the chat. The chat's right beside you. You can see it's on the fucking Streamlabs page.
I don't get that.
Yeah, we got to hit the comments on the button. Click on the comments.
Yeah, Sif is asking, is Bering still on YouTube? Man, I haven't heard from Bering. I haven't heard from Bering. I haven't seen Bering's videos in a while. I haven't seen Sugar Tits in a while either.
Well, Sugar Tits kind of retracted. Like, I'll tell you right now, Sugar Tits was the one that got me into YouTube in the first place. Bering still does YouTube, but not near what he used to.
Probably because they have a kid now.
Yeah,
that'll be
of course.
Yeah.
Making that
Brandon
real
says
money.
Hermetics is a lot going on right now. That Kabbalah though, oof! Don't even get me started, Kabbalah, man. That thing is a fucking headache just going into the concepts.
Yeah, look, man. Me and Jensen don't get along, Jim. Legit. Me and Jensen never got along. So I don't really watch that shit.
Oh, yeah. Don't even bring up Kabbalah, dude, man. That thing is a fucking headache on its own.
How about I bring in?
Yo, he's talking to the chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Brandon.
A lot of those things I don't even really fully look into, and I love looking at philosophy. But when things go off the rails too much, I'm like, if I need to, I'll study up on it. But I'm like, this makes no fucking sense. So I'm like, nah. And I'll usually listen to people who actually are involved with the stuff. They'll give you a different perspective.
Yeah, actually talk to a Kabbalah practitioner if you want to know about Kabbalah. Talk to a
read works of different Wiccan folk. Actually talk to different, because what they'll give you is, even if you have an understanding of something, there are often different perspectives in that faith or philosophy, different schools of thought. So it's important to know that.
I'll tell you what, man, I am terrified of those bitches with like the crystal earrings in their foreheads and shit. Yo, they scare the shit out of me. Every time I go near one, I cover up my balls.
Should.
They should. They should, man.
They should, like, and I mean that in a number of ways. Most of them are peaceful, but yeah, don't fuck with them. Let's just put it that way. That's reasonable reaction.
Yeah.
Well, I got a few things. One, those peaceful protesters with the gems. Whatever. Am I the only one on fucking camera?
Yeah, man, we don't usually use camera.
Yes.
Yeah.
At least I made that bet.
That's why I don't use it.
Good job. My girl's in bed behind me, so like
I'm keeping a low profile.
And what's with the hate for Barry?
The what?
The hate for who?
Situnet Sith, Sugar Tits, the wife of Bering.
Yeah, they've been married for years.
Yeah, they were together when I got into it. Like, we're talking, that's a 10-year relationship.
Sifun says, what about the Freemasons? Freemasons are just more like on guys interested in money than actual philosophy. They do, and it's basically Kabbalah.
Depends on which lodge you're dealing with.
Depends
on which lodge that you're dealing with. Yeah,
Masons are all about networking.
I am totally willing to tell all of you guys to fuck off if I get invited to one of those meetings.
Well, there have been 14 Asian presidents, for example.
Brandon says Gematria is part of Kabbalah.
So a lot of Butter went back to drinking heavy. Is that what we're doing right now?
This week.
Gotcha.
Yeah. We'll talk a little bit offline, but No, I am cutting down on my drinking.
Good.
Yeah, man. Like, yo, like you probably, you know what I'm saying? Like, should calm down on
Good
like
for the
the
health.
amount of drinking you're doing. Like, yo, niggas be dying young of that shit nowadays. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah. It's
Can
good
you
for the
say
health
that?
because
And
I know I put on some pounds when I drink too much.
well, no, that's the reason why I'm looking at cutting down my drinking is the pounds.
Yeah.
Like I'm only 5'7", and I'm up to 180 pounds.
Oh, you're around my neck of the woods, and I'm 6'1.5". So yeah, be careful.
Yeah, no, I think I'm fucking fat as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm fat joke worthy.
Don't worry,
Well, yeah,
a lot of Americans are.
kind of. You look like one of them Ewoks and shit. If I'm if I'm honest with you,
I love the Ewoks. No, you look like an average American I see today. Honestly.
Oh, you like Al Borland and shit.
No.
All right, yeah, no, I can see that. The thing is actually part of the thing is I'm cutting back on all my fucking beer drinking. I'm cutting back on drinking altogether, but
Good.
more or less the beer. I've been
beer's
very
what does it
heavy on.
to you.
I've been very heavy on beer. Like I'd be happy at 150, but I wake up. Granted, I made my bed today. That sucks. Actually, that's pretty cool. But the thing is most days when I drink heavily, that's not a thing that's going to come in.
Well, here's the advice that I always give. If
when we
you're
talk
going
about
to
alcohol consumption, when you start sitting in that bed and the entire day is in a bed, you got a problem.
Yeah,
Well,
you just have to be active. If you're going to be drinking, you have to be active to burn it all. Have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you actually, in order to actually burn off calories, you actually have to not live a sedentary lifestyle. It really doesn't matter what you eat, or and also
What you
not
eat,
only that,
yep.
but it also means how much you eat and how active you are as well. So there's a lot of things going on there.
Exactly.
And this is something that I know it wasn't something that Pinoid wanted to have on his stream, but this is actually a thing of you realize I sleep in that bed most hours of the day, more than most. It's not a thing of like I eat unhealthy. I eat very healthy. I cook.
Yo, Flutter, everybody in the chat wants to know who's looking in your window.
Who's that peeking in my window? Wow, nobody knows.
Oh. If they're really all this concerned about what's going on in my life, I'll send them a link.
Yo, man, I'll be real. Like fucking, I ended up in a coma from like diabetes like a month ago, right? And I ended up fucking having to like, I had to stop working and get back in shape before I can go back to work and get my numbers back down where they fucking belong. Now they fucking got me on all this medication and shit. So now I'm exercising. I go for like an hour walk, jog in the mornings, and then at night I take an hour and I go work the heavy bag and lift weights and shit. But the bitches,
when
it's
I'm
winter
saying
time.
Be active.
Nothing to do in the daytime.
Yeah.
About it.
It makes it difficult even for me, even if I was more active to lose weight during the wintertime. But what I'm saying about being active is it's when people say, well, I eat healthy, I diet. None of you don't understand. The body is a biomechanical / biochemical machine. And just like any machine, like any car, refrigerator, etc., it has to be in use. If it does not get proper use, the joints are going to break down. You your skeletal
Yo,
structure, everything will get fucked up.
Well, no, here's what I can say is, like, along with what you're saying, is tonight's meal. This is for me and my kids. I haven't ate. Apparently, there's not enough food for me. Whatever. It was Italian hot sausage, green pepper, red pepper, orange pepper, and onions sauteed with a little bit of red wine and rice. And it ended up being like a complete dish. You know what? That's what we normally eat. We normally eat not very heavy. Like, I love my meat and potatoes, but that's not exactly what every day is in my house. I have one child that wants to be vegetarian. I have one child that is wants to eat meat just as much as I do. I'm here. I'm a single dad. I got a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old. I gotta please everybody every fucking night. Guess what? I'm not eating unhealthy. None of my kids actually like pizza. If I say, hey, we're gonna order McDonald's, it's like a mutiny. They want me to kill myself before I order a McChicken for everybody. It's like, no. We're gonna cook our own shit. Fuck you, Dad. You're done.
And Silver Eagle, I did go low carb. I cut out all the fucking carbs in my life for the most part. All sugars, all breads, all noodles. Like, yo, legit. Every once in a while, I have like a slice of bread with my eggs and fucking like sausage in the morning or whatever the case might be, or whatever fucking meat I choose to have in the morning. And then at night, it's usually like fucking meat and like green vegetables, a lot of fucking like lettuce and green beans and peas and carrots and fucking apples and goddamn whatchamacallit. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of where the mentality gets to. But yeah, my kids eat what the fuck I tell them to eat. Like, that's how the hell it works. And I'll be honest, my kids will eat that fucking anything I put in front of them.
Wait, your
That's
kids
how it was
actually
with me.
eat whatever the hell you put in front of them?
Hell yeah.
That's how my parents were. What you mean?
My
We
kids,
ate. Shit.
my kids will not only piss in my face, they will slap that piss upside
That's on
one
you.
side to the other.
Have you tried whooping their little asses?
Have you
That's
tried
on you.
turning
Yeah.
off
They
the
ain't gonna
TV,
eat.
sitting
Like, that's
down
how
with
it
your
used to be with
children
me.
and hitting them?
I have
my
one
parents-
child that
listen, my
will.
parents wouldn't present anything that I wouldn't eat or they wouldn't eat. Also, if my mom cooked or my dad cooked, guess what? That's what we're gonna fucking eat, or I'm going hungry. So your ass eats. Like, what is this? This is crazy to me.
Well, here's the difference. Here's the thing. I'll cook some foods. I'll even cook eggs, which I absolutely despise, and have an extreme allergical reaction with me.
Well, why are you cooking
guys,
food that
I
you
gotta
yourself aren't gonna eat?
Gotta head out for the night tomorrow. I gotta go to work
good
at
one.
around 1:30.
All right, good night, man. We're only going to roll about another 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Thank you, man, for coming on.
Anytime.
Nice talking to you.
Have a
Sorry.
good one, Nuffle.
It's all right. I'm gonna get her, guys. We got a fucking winter to go through.
You know the deal. You know, man. Anyway,
But,
yeah.
but here's the funny thing is I'll cook these big ass breakfast meals.
Mm-hmm.
And my kids will be like, fuck you.
What? That's nah, bro. I can't.
But
even
here's the
imagine.
thing. I'm not cooking them nothing else.
Exactly.
We got a meal.
Listen, my parents never cooked anything they themselves wouldn't eat, except my mom would like fish, but the rest of us
No,
wouldn't.
my kids will cook themselves their own meal.
No. Like, yo, my kids, like, legit, if they don't eat what's on their plate, they don't eat.
Exactly.
It's that simple.
Or my mom said make a sandwich while I'm cooking or something like that as I got older.
Nope.
But that's
Nope. It's you who
no.
eat
I'm
what
Tom.
I
I'm
fucking
talking
put the
about.
fuck in
I'm
front of you.
16 years old.
Yeah,
I'm
I
16
feel
years
you.
old at that
Even
point.
when I was 16 years old, like if I'm living in my fucking parents' house, you ate what was made for dinner or you didn't eat.
Right.
Wait, as a 16-year-old, your mom still made your food?
Absolutely. The fuck you mean?
Nah, like yeah, if my mom made dinner that night, like yeah, I had to fucking eat it.
Yeah. What?
When I was 16, I had 2 full-time jobs, and I was still expected to fucking cook my fucking household a meal.
See, I come from a larger family, so that shit don't.
I had a job and I was selling weed, and like if my mom made
I
a
play
meal, if
sports.
she did, I still
Oh,
fucking
I
had to eat.
love my mom's meals, but no, if I didn't like it, I got to cook something fucking better than what she had on the table.
Well, I ain't cooking better than my mom, so what you mean? Or
You
my dad.
ain't cooking. What the fuck is wrong with you? Why
I know how.
ain't you
No.
cooking better
I
than
know
your
how to
mom?
cook. No. You're misunderstanding. I said I'm not cooking better than my
Yo,
parents.
because his mom can cook.
Yes, both my parents can cook. Like the fuck you talking about? I come from a black family, bro. They motherfucking know how to cook.
Fine. Let's put a race card out there. Whatever.
It's not the race card. I'm from the South. I come from a Southern black family. They know how to fucking cook. That's just what it is.
She took pride in
Like
cooking.
everybody in the family
She
knows
was
how to
with her
cook.
husband her whole life.
Yeah. My parents have been married, was it 39 years? Yeah, going on 40.
Dude, okay, fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I'll never be able to cook as well as like my grandmother did. Like,
Oh hell no.
like, ever.
My grandma, oh my God.
Oh,
Then what
grandma's
the fuck
cooking,
was
boy,
the use
bruh.
of your childhood?
What
I
was
had a baba. She taught me to cook shit that I absolutely despised. Here's the deal. I can cook better than anybody in my fucking family.
you'll never be able to cook as well as the individual who taught you how to cook. Yeah, exactly. Right. Like, yo, like my grandfather, he was literally a cook. That's what he did for like a living when he was on parole. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking so, and my family owned restaurants and shit. I'll never be able to cook as well as they could.
Yeah, no.
Okay, my grandpa was a taxi driver and a war hero.
My grandfather broke knees and lit niggas on fire.
Guess what?
Yo, your grandpa's a gangster, bro. I love it.
Okay, we weren't going about the racist fucking card here, okay?
No, it's not racist. He just said this man kneecapping and setting fools on a flame. That's literally a gangster. Like I'm not making this up.
Yeah, like
Well,
my grandpa, like he
heritage-
stole, like my grandfather stole a truckload of meat for my mom's wedding reception.
No, my
That's some
heritage
Godfather
had
shit.
the same things, but they were on the other side of the race card, which didn't make it so right.
Wait, this isn't a racist issue. I think, Tom, it goes back to
I'm Italian.
before cultural. This is fucking like you and I are coming from cultural background. Like a lot of people just don't come with the cultural backgrounds. I swear.
Yeah, like I'll never be able to cook it. Like my grandfather, legit, that nigga make a turkey and like he'd do it in the oven and somehow it would come out and like you'd watch the juices fall out of it as he was cutting it. It was amazing. I have no idea how the fuck he did this.
I've seen my dad cook on all kinds of grills, fry things, bake things. Because my dad was like, he never planned on when he was younger getting married. So he's like, I'm going to be a bachelor. I got to know how to cook. And then he met my mom. And mom
nigga, apparently he's banging your girl. Or either that or your girlfriend is breaking into his house and fucking you up. You know what I mean? He's not there. One of the two.
You know what? You know what? Cooking's not a fucking good skill for women anymore.
What?
I'll tell you right now. Most women that I meet, like say on online dating websites,
none of them can cook.
Yeah, almost none of them can.
They can, but
they can't cook.
Yeah, they can.
It depends. It depends who you deal with.
And they can't do dishes either.
First of
or
all,
clean.
it's a failure of parenting, and this is my mentality. It's a failure of parenting if any adult, man or woman, can't cook and clean.
That's not the deal. Here's the situation, right? So like it's that same
Well, I suck
mentality.
ass at cleaning. So was I failed at?
No, I said a failure on parenting.
Yeah, did
You
my
should be able to
parents fail me?
survive.
I absolutely suck at fucking cleaning. My house looks like it's a fucking crackhead house. We have gourmet meals every night. All the
Just
bills
find
are
yourself
paid.
a woman who knows how to clean.
I
That's
feel
all.
like
I'll give that
you
advice.
don't know what a crack house looks like.
Yeah, you don't. That's why I'm laughing.
I am Canadian.
Oh, that explains everything. I heard the Canadian in your voice. That explains a lot.
You know what it's a boot? he's from a boot.
I was hearing the A, brother. I was saying the A.
Before you make fun of me too far, can you look at some history, Sergeant Major?
I don't even know what Sergeant Major is. What's that?
Wait, we talking about
Wait, you don't know who Sergeant Major was?
I know the rank. What you mean?
Yeah.
No, Sergeant Major is not a rank. The guy's rank was Sergeant. His last name was Major.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
I don't know what the fuck you talking about.
The first time he took over, what was it, like 50 Nazis in World War II? And then he rejected the Medal of Honor because he thought his commanding officer was a dipshit.
That
he
sounds about
on
right.
record. He's like, yeah, no. Fuck
Wait, which nation did he fight for?
Canada.
Okay, that's why I don't know a lot of.
We don't know anybody. You're like y'all have flappy heads. You know what I'm saying? He like rip the arms off of people when they get married.
No, the other thing is the second time he took over, he actually took 97 German POWs and took over an entire town entirely on his own.
How the fuck you? I understand.
I don't know. But this guy. I hate Quebec people. I hate Quebec people. But the guy was from Quebec. And god damn, if you can do that.
I'm hearing some, as people say, cap today. I'm hearing some fraudulence. You ain't taking 97 POWs by yourself. It's just not going to happen.
Google search Sergeant Major.
I'm saying I'm thinking somebody lying on them reports.
I feel like this nigga he went in and just like apologized to everybody. Right. He's like, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. Like, yo, he was super like really nice to everybody, and like fucking like they all just kind of went with him. You know what I mean? Because he was just really nice all the time. Like that's what Canada does. They lull you to sleep with their niceness.
Fud or not. What I'm trying to say is you can't. To be able to secure 97 POWs, you know what that indicates? Literally,
that's unheard of. That's insane.
No, you can't do it. Is what I'm saying. You can't secure 97 people, bro.
Hey, you know what? Open up another web browser and look up Sergeant. Sergeant, that was his rank, and his name was Leo Major.
No, what I'm disputing is the accuracy of the account is what I'm disputing. I don't believe it.
The accuracy of the account was the accuracy of the American Army.
And they are known to lie too. So I'm that doesn't validate anything.
Dude, why would you validate a Canadian over an American? Dude, I don't like the guy because he's from Quebec. But
because it's good propaganda. The fuck you mean?
It
was our propaganda.
Now? Oh, right there. What's Pinoy got on screen?
I'm reading. Right. He was part of the Normandy invasion. He killed 4 soldiers. He lost an eye but continued to fight. He was a scout and a sniper, right?
Yeah.
He single-handedly captured 93 German soldiers during the Battle of Scheldt, in Zeeland in southern Netherlands during reconnaissance. While alone, he spotted 2 German soldiers walking along a dike. It was raining cold. I'm frozen, wet, and because of you, so you will pay. Because of you, so you will pay. He captures his first German and attempt to use him as bait, so he captured the other. The second attempted to use his gun, but Major quickly killed him. He went on to capture their commanding officer and forced him to surrender. Oh, that's why. Like, yo, he made
Thank you.
fucking,
There we
fucking
go.
German commander.
Thank you. Now we are making sense. I knew you can't just capture 97 people by yourself. You just can't. It's impossible. But if you take out the commanding officer, then that's a different story.
All right. Well,
Yes.
no.
Details.
Actually, I said 97. Actually, here's the thing: is I said 97. Pinoid looked it up is 93.
93. Yeah. Details matter. Yeah, I've heard of this guy. I've heard of him in the past. It's been a while.
You know what?
I've
It
never
don't matter
heard of him.
what. It don't matter what country that guy fucking fought for. That's hardcore as fuck.
Well, it's because he's a sniper. The snipers during World War II were there was some women too, but the snipers were lethal and they were awesome.
I ain't fucking with them.
Yeah, nah. Snipers are a different breed of people, period. And I respect them for that. Like, I respect very dangerous people. I just put it that way.
Yeah.
Generally.
No, I'd like to say that I'm a sniper because I like to sport shoot, but I'm not a sniper.
No. It's a different mentality. Like, people don't understand about mentalities of different people. Like Tom talked about his gangsta grandpa. That's a different mentality that most people have. Outlaw mentality. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just people are like, oh, I want to be. No, you can't be. You just either are or you're not, or you become that. But it's not something like people. Oh, I can shoot well. That doesn't make you a sniper. Just because you're a good shot doesn't make you a sniper.
Oh no, I'm an excellent shot. I can probably outdo a lot of the snipers in our military.
But here's the thing about a sniper.
Now, when there's mortars coming down, there's mortars coming down.
Just sit there and on a hill or on a roof for days. Just sit there and patiently wait for the exact moment.
Look,
that's
have you ever sat and shot 800 yards with fucking 308?
No.
Exactly.
Yo, it's a whole different ball.
Here's actually something that I can say is I've never, like, as far as you guys Americans have went, I've never went as long as you have. I've never went as long as your basic training even says. When I was in the United States, granted, I can't have a firearm in Canada because I'm a dangerous individual, but I can have a concealed carry in 6 states.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you like this: with my 22 long rifle,
guess what?
I can shoot. I can put
my
a 6-inch
handgun was a 22.
Yeah,
my handgun was a 22, and the reason why is because if I wanted it for protection,
and they're cheap, right?
I wanted fucking 12 rounds on target.
Yo, iron sight at 125 yards with my fucking 22, I can do a fucking 6-inch pattern, right? And that's fucking damn good with a fucking 22. With my 30-06, I can bang out fucking 350 yards, you know what I'm saying, with like a fucking 5-inch pattern. And that's not terrible, legit, you know what I mean?
Can you hit moving targets?
Well, I don't know how you were taught, but I was actually pushed down when I had to shoot mine. And it was a 5-inch. And this is the reason why I went with a 22 as my sidearm. This is what I was, like, my registered weapon was a SIG 22. Not a 1911 or something cool. It's a SIG 22. You know what? This thing is a fucking BB gun on steroids.
Yeah. But, like, you know, I'll be honest with you, like that 22, you know, I mean, coming out of a long rifle with iron sights, you know, I mean,
but
like, you'd be amazed. You can put that bitch on target. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't have to aim. I didn't have to look down the sights. I just have to look. It's like shooting a BB gun.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, this gun was like shooting a fucking BB gun.
It's a little harder than that.
Not, well, let's not get into semantics, but no, it really wasn't. Like, I had a 4-inch target back in Wyoming. I had a guy that actually pushed me down.
Yeah, don't worry. We're about to shut this bitch down in like 2 minutes anyway. Fish smell. Like, yo, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We're going on 2.5 hours on the stream.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll shut the fuck up.
Yo, all right. Yo, look, motherfucking, hey, everybody, thank you for coming out. Thank you, motherfucking Dip. Thank you, Max, for coming out, even though you bitched out. Thank you, Neffel. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, fucking SMG, you know what I mean? Futternut, you know what I mean? Make sure you go check out motherfucking gaming channel and shit. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Yo, Futter's always fucking drunk. That's how the fuck it works. But he's a good dude, believe it or not.
Fuck you, I'm going sober, you motherfucking asshole.
Yo, he only comes on stream when he's drunk. Like, legit.
Let's
Yo,
go get
I'm
stoned
gonna fuck
again.
up out of here, man. Fucking like, yo,